Good evening and welcome inside of Battle Villiers here, downtown Toronto. We are live from the National Axe-Throwing Federation National Championship Tournament here, 2018. We are sitting here looking at the B bracket between Space Knight and Cappuccino. They are in round 2. As we move along here, heading into the quarterfinals here shortly. We are just wrapping up the last couple rounds of B bracket. As you can see here, Space Knight is leading. He is on your right-hand side. Cappuccino is on the left. Space Knight leading 1-0 as they are tied heading into the final axe. If you would like to look up how we have been doing here today, go to axescores.com, AXESCORES.com, and all the information from today's event will be there. There's been a lot of exciting axe throwing tonight so far, a lot of upsets. As Space Knight just wide there on the clutch. Cappuccino looking to hit it here and take it to game 3, tied at 1. If he misses, we go to Big Axe. And he nails it. Splits it in half. And Cappuccino has tied the match here at 1 as we head to game 3. Space Knight is on your left, Cappuccino on your right. Tied at 1 here in game 3. And they both hit bowls. Once again, if you want to check and follow any of the action here today, follow us at axescores.com. You can see the full tournament bracket there today from the championship so far and where we're at. Check out all the standings and stats as we head to Axe 3 here, all tied at 10. As Cappuccino hits his bullseye. Space Knight matches. 2 axes left here in game 3. All tied at 15. And we head to the final axe, tied at 20. They both went clutches last time. More of the same here now. Clutch is called. This will take the lead, or we'll head to Big Axe here in this best 3 out of... Should be best 3 out of 5. Space Knight nails his. Cap to match. And force Big Axe. And he's just wide. Space Knight takes the lead up 2-1 here as we go to game 3. Bullseye there from Cappuccino. Space Knight checking, and Cap says it's good. All tied Axe 2. Space Knight leading 2-1. Double bullseye there. And we're all tied up, heading into Axe 3, 10 all. Here in game number 4. Space Knight leading 2-1. Welcome to the mic here, Ian Bobby from Yorkdale. Oh, we'll try to get him on here in a second. Just need to work his mic here. Bullseye there from Cappuccino and Space Knight matching. There he goes. And once again, tied at 20 here into the final axe, and they will go clutches yet again. Okay. All right, we're back here for the match between Space Knight and Cappuccino. Welcome to the mic, Ian Bobby here from Yorkdale.
How's it going, everybody?
Stepping in to give us a little bit of color commentary as we go here. As we are in...
Well, definitely something that I've been noticing is how composed Space Knight is in a lot of his throwing. He's stepping calm, he's throwing easy. He's using the pinch type of throw in his hatchet throws that we've seen get really popular over the past year.
Yeah, you've definitely seen an adjustment from the harder throwing down into that lighter, more delicate throw, more of a placement throw than a forceful.
Absolutely. Definitely more accurate than a standard full fist grab of your hatchet. Sitting here at third axe, all tied up. Space Knight's going to set the point.
If Space Knight can get this here, he will take the 3-1 lead, currently leading 2-1 here in game 4. Space Knight and Cappuccino. Cap needing to get at least a 3 here, and a bullseye would win it and tie the match. His best 3 out of 5. And he does, so we're going to game number 5, all tied 2-all. Trev takes down the chains and the boys reset. Quick check of the scores, a tweak of the neck and a shake of the arm, and we're off here in game number 5.
This is such a big game. Being up 3-2, as much as it doesn't seem like much, that 1 game away from winning the match makes such a calm presence of mind when you're throwing.
For sure, being able to stay calm in the moment is huge here. And again, double bullseyes from each player.
Though Cappuccino's bullseye was a little shaky, almost over-rotated.
And now he's high. That last throw maybe got to his head a bit. As he takes the 3.
You've been noticing in his throws, he's got a lot of nervous energy. There's a little bit of bounce to his step, a little bit of shakiness in the shoulders. Wonder if this is really the pressure or if he's going to be able to straighten out coming this next round.
He has quite the routine. If he gets off it a little bit, it can tweak his throw one way or the other. So he likes to get into that little bounce rhythm, take a deep breath, and get refocused here. Space Knight staying steady with the bullseyes. Cap hits, and so does Space Knight. As we go to the final act, Space Knight leading by 2 points here.
Now you wonder, does Space Knight just go for clutch and try to close him out, or does he go for a bullseye here?
Looks like he's just going bull. And he hits it. So Cap needs the clutch here for the 7 points to take us to Big Axe here in game number 5. Cap steps up and he nails it. We're going to Big Axe yet again here. What a match so far between Space Knight and Cappuccino. As Cap hits another clutch to send us to Big Axe here in game number 5.
Very composed throwing from these two.
At this point in the tournament, you'd expect nothing less. They've got this far. It's all about keeping those nerves in check. One throw at a time.
I do find that Cap has a lot of bounce to his step. He's definitely correcting, but you wonder if that much motion is going to play havoc with your throw, as opposed to Space Knight actually having such a very calm and measured stance before he tosses. You can watch him here in Big Axe.
Yeah, definitely a busier throw from Cappuccino for sure. Space Knight, you can see it here. He's just nice and steady, lining it up. But he's high with that one. Luckily, it's just throwing for pain. But now we're into the points here, so highest point value will take this round.
Cap's
and the
here
match.
To set the point.
And a bullseye from Cappuccino.
Beautiful bullseye there.
Now, some interesting options here. Does he go bullseye to continue, or does he step in as we get some feedback from the venue mic here.
You're going to play some havoc in a throw. I'm glad that wasn't in a backswing.
The mic is hot. Trying to get it under control, and there they go. And they're going to reset here. So, oh, wait. The chain is wreaking havoc on the microphone here. We got it turned down, and it looks like we've got it fixed here. So Cap has hit a bullseye. Space Knight has an option here. He can go for bullseye to keep the match going, or he goes clutch and ends it. We've seen a lot of big axe clutches today. It's been another one of those other shifts from the light throws to
like
a lot of people.
Left.
Oh, he looks like he's going for it. Big axe clutch here from Space Knight. It's never mind. He didn't call it. He decided to go bullseye. And keeps us going here as we head to axe number 3 of Big Axe. The second one for points. And another bullseye. With authority.
I know.
Just burying those in there.
Now, I am starting to notice, you can see that dark line right in the center of that bullseye, starting to wear a little of that wood out. You know, you can't change wood out in the middle of a match. You wonder if that might affect things. I think this is going to go for a measurement.
We'll get the calipers here as Dustin McKnight is a bit high here.
Bringing in the judge. What do you think? I think that looks a little high to me.
The angle might save him here, the angle in the paint, but it's tough to tell from here. As Wes is in there with the device. That 3 is looking pretty big, though. As he ducks his way under and gets the other side here. Wes, one of the best in the biz with that device, though, I tell you.
He is. He's been a coach for, let's see, going on 5 years now.
Gets right in there, and he'll give us the judgment here in a second. And it's a 3.
It's a 3.
And with that,
all right,
Cappuccino takes the match, and he'll be moving on. What a match there. Goes the full length, full 5 games there. Cap found himself down 2-1 early, but battled his way back. Pardon the pun there, as we are at Battle of Villiers here. But he battled his way back and takes it in 5 games. And he'll move on.
Who do we got next up, Tom?
Our next match here on black will be Strawn Riley versus Chris Sully as we head back to the A bracket here. And on the other side, we will have Ken S. against Erin Gerrard. As the A bracket is moving along.
I know Strawn has been talked about as being an early favorite in the tournament based on some of his throwing over the past year, holding multiple records for 81s, for supernatural perfect games, smashing these records throughout 2017.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago we were looking, and he had hit a point where he had hit 10 81s in a row. It's almost unheard of.
Incredible.
32 27s in a row. And to get a 27 for anyone just joining us, you've got a regular match. A perfect round would be 25. You hit your 5 bullseyes and away you go. But with that clutch being worth 7, he steps up and hits that on his final throw and is able to get the super perfect. Sure. So we're just going to look over here for the camera because we're on now. I'm Tom Black. This is Ian Bobby on my right.
Nice to meet you guys at home.
But as we were saying, yeah, so to get the super perfect, you need to get that 27. You got to hit that clutch on your 5th and final throw of each round. And for him to do that 32 straight times is something else. It's something
Absolutely.
Impressive for sure.
You know, it's one of those things that it's always been an accomplishment for a competitor to hit their first 81. To hit multiple 81s is considered a really big feat. To hit 10 in a row has not been heard of since the sport was created. We're talking over a decade of competition where that's not been seen before. The next closest record isn't even close.
Yeah.
Consecutive 81s has not existed. in this, I think only in playoffs did it happen, and that was Stuntman 2 or 3 years ago. Stuntman, one of our throwers, who is part of Bo's, one of our sponsors today, who's providing beer, Bo's Brewery. He had 3 81s in a row, but it was in playoffs. So not counted towards your regular season records and not actually tracked. For Strawn's record, that holds. That's in regular season, and that is all the more impressive.
For sure. And you look back, like I've been with Battle for 3 years now, and when we first started, only 5 people had ever hit 81s.
That is true.
And now we're at a point where you've got guys like Strawn hitting 10 in a row, and we've got guys that have hit upwards of 80 81s in time. Just to see the level, even in the last year, of how much it's improved.
Well, it changes
the level
the game.
of throwing from everybody.
One of the things that I really do enjoy about the clutches being such a huge part of this now is it's no longer about throwing a perfect game. Perfect isn't good enough in Battle now. You have to be more than perfect now to move on. In these late round scenarios, especially in A bracket, you think, is it worth going to Big Axe when Big Axe is such an unpredictable animal sometimes, or should you just try to clutch somebody out?
Try to clutch and get out, yeah, for sure. And then even then, it's not even safe in Big Axe these days. You're seeing a lot of Big Axe clutches, and not just being called, but being hit.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that was unheard of in the past. And now it's becoming the regular. And just seeing that level improve year to year it's incredible.
People up in their game. It is very, very impressive. Looks like we've got Strawn and Sully lining up. Strawn in the black, Sully in the red. Now, both these throwers throw at a Pickering. Strawn was originally a thrower out of Yorkdale and a staff member and coach there.
Switch sides.
Okay.
But this should be a good match for sure. I'm sure these guys have had a few matches together in Pickering against each other, if not just for fun, within their league play. I believe they do play on Monday nights against each other. I might be wrong there, but...
We've got Strawn requesting a new board, which is interesting based on what we were talking about before, getting a little worn in. I think he might anticipate a long match here.
Yeah, we're in the last set of 3 out of 5. So after this, we head into best 4 out of 7. But as you mentioned earlier, you can't change that board within the match, right? So once that match has started, that board must stay. So it got beaten up a little bit, as you said, in the Big Axe there from that last match with Cappuccino and Space Knight. So bit of strategy here to try and get that fresh board in, get them through this match, hopefully.
Right, and even in earlier rounds, sometimes the strategy is to take a board that's a little more worked in. As you know, it's one of those things where a tough board, a new board, can sometimes mean the difference between sinking an axe and dropping one.
For sure.
And in later rounds, dropping an axe is just the death knell for that round for you.
Yeah, especially as we've said today, like even hitting a 3 at times can be deadly.
Yeah.
But dropping in because of a nice fresh board or something that's a little bit too hard is even worse. But
now, I tend to like throwing on new wood. I throw a little hard. I think that I like new wood because it's a bit of that psychological advantage. Yeah. There's no inconsistencies, especially with chopped up wood. Sometimes I find inconsistent target boards to be a little unnerving.
Yeah.
With fresh wood, it's all clean, all nice. The surface, no matter where you're hitting, is going to be forgiving for what you're going to toss.
Definitely.
So long as you throw hard enough.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, and it goes back to what we talked about, how that shift is changing from the harder throw into that lighter, as you'll see with both of these players. Actually, they're both into that nice light placement throw. So with that new board, it could play a factor in this.
Right. A little chatter going on with these guys. They're obviously good friends working together up at Pickering.
Yep. Okay. We're just going to do a quick thank you to our sponsors here now. We've got, as part of the National Axe-Throwing Federation, Bo's All Natural Brewing Company sponsoring us here today. And the title sponsor, in fact, yes, for today's event. And for the last couple of years they've been the title sponsor. And then, of course, the National Axe-Throwing Federation itself, the host of this tournament today. And then we have the Cherry Street Barbecue providing some food for us today, and Sailor Jerry's, as well as the RBC Foundation.
Woodhouse as well, Woodhouse Brewing.
Woodhouse Brewery as well.
All to our NATF organizations that come in from all around the world to throw with us. We are so excited to see everybody in the same room, to see this sport grow. We cannot wait to make it even more international. We want to see multiple continents
for sure.
Represented.
We do have a few from the Australian Melbourne and Sydney locations as well, from Maniacs down there. They've joined us today. There's 3 or 4 of them here today, and then they've done quite well as well.
So Wes is watering those boards down, and I think we will be starting shortly.
On the far side, we have Chris PB and Erin Gerrard playing. You won't see that one at the moment, but that's another big match as Chris PB eliminated the last year's champion, Stefan Herda, who is a legend in these parts.
Absolutely. 4 consecutive championships. 4 consecutive championships. And that is an unbeaten streak.
Yeah, he not even once was in the B bracket in any of that time. Never had to battle his way back, was always able to make his way through the A bracket and win it. But knocked out this year. And here we go. Strawn Riley on your right, Chris Suley on the left. Chris looks like he's a bit high there as Strawn hits the bullseye. Sure enough, Suley
opening
high.
up with a 3, I think, might be just a little bit of nerves. Don't consider that to be the way he's going to throw for the rest of this match.
As he dials it back in for the bullseye there. But remains down 2 here in game number 1. And this best 3 out of 5. Double bulls again, and it's now 15-13 in favor of Strawn Riley.
One thing I really like to pay attention to, the way Suley's axe is hitting that board and the way Strawn's is. Now Suley is hitting very, very vertical. Straight up and down, almost an under rotation if you were to get a little too close. Strawn, up until this point, has been hitting that 45 degrees down, that perfect sink where the point of your axe is making contact with the board first.
Yeah, you can see it there, just about an over rotation, but sure enough, it's the 3 as Wes comes in with the device.
Up in the final axe.
Unexpected there, but he got it. And they're going clutches, it sounds like. Where's the... Strawn nails it, and so does Suley, and we're going to Big Axe here in game number 1.
Wow, that is an impressive start. Even with some jitters, that's very, very close.
Those couple of 3s that got thrown, you thought Suley might have had to go clutch to just tie and send us to Big Axe, and it turns out he did in the end, but Strawn throwing a 3 of his own and then double clutch to send us to Big Axe, and they both had to hit it.
So I got a question for you. When you throw Big Axe, do you prefer to go first or second? I know what I feel, but I wanted to ask you. What do you think?
Depending who I'm playing, but a lot of times I find myself just going first and deciding to set that stage, and then if I'm able to hit that bullseye and then they can step up and they decide to go clutch and they can hit it, then bravo to them, because that's a tough shot to make. But
I think there's definitely a lot of credence to setting the point, right?
Yes.
Setting point is pretty important, which is obviously what Suley is going to be doing right now, setting point. But the follow-up, being the closer, I don't know, that it has a lot of weight to it.
Certainly does. A lot of pressure.
Also the ability to call clutch. If you are...
Oh!
Wow.
Speaking of, as Suley calls it, but just misses. A little over rotation maybe there, it looked like.
And Strawn, in a show of sportsmanship, is calling clutch.
Doesn't have to, but yes, and sportsmanship indeed, as he calls it, to match. And he's high and away, so we'll go to another round of points here.
I can see the logic behind that. You're early on in a match. If one person's already dropped, there's nothing to be said about maybe missing that clutch, but practice about maybe hitting a clutch later might be on his mind.
Yep, for sure. And he could have just gone for points there. He could have just stuck a 1 and walked away there, but doing the sportsman thing and throwing for clutch as well. They agreed upon it before, and away they go.
The sportsmanship level is pretty incredible.
For sure. A lot of respect on both sides, for sure. Strawn calling clutch here as well. If he hits this, he'll take game 1. Oh, and this time he's low. So we go to game 3.
With the amount of extra weight and the extra handle length on those big axes, it makes accuracy difficult. It's what people really do underestimate about throwing the big axe. It's not so much about the heft or about your strength in throwing it. It's making it accurate and still getting the rotation to hit one full on the way to the target.
Yep. And they decide to go for just the regular points here. Sully was trying to talk Strawn into going for clutches one more time, but Strawn won. Oh, and now he goes clutch on his own.
Let's see if
with the bullseye. Sully not pleased with that call, it doesn't look like, because he's got a bit of a smirk on his face. He may have changed his mind. And Strawn hits it. Little bit of gamesmanship there. Little bit of gamesmanship.
Yeah. Being the closer is sometimes so important because you have that option.
And he talked Sully into going for regular points. Sully stepped up and hit his bullseye, so then Strawn was left to either hit bullseye for the tie and keep going or hit clutch, and he decided to go clutch and nailed it right in half to take game one as we head to game two.
Now, an interesting thing about these later round matches is you don't want to prolong your big axe because you run the risk of really tricking your arms when you go back to throwing hatchets. You know, you are throwing two-hand versus one. At least some people do. So I know some folks have a one-handed big axe throw. But tricking yourself back into that smaller axe throw, I've definitely seen, I know you have too, those people who don't make the adjustment and either drop or drastically outthrow their first one moving back into normal.
You throw a 1 or a 3 or something silly just trying to adjust to that weight for sure. It's definitely a factor. And two, like you see it, if you've ever thrown events at Battle or anything where it's just a maximum of 3 throws in league and in this tournament today, if it has to, that big axe round will go forever. They could go 15, 20 throws, and as we move along here, with Sully hitting a clutch and Strawn missing, we're going to game 3.
Uncharacteristic for Strawn, known for his clutch game.
The 81 man misses the clutch for the 27. But they're back on target with double bulls.
This is where the game truly turns into one of endurance. It's
for sure.
More of a marathon now, whereas the earlier rounds are akin to a sprint.
And especially now, with this being the last round of 3 out of 5, when we move into the best 4 out of 7, there's a lot of axe throwing left to be done.
True. You do hope that you could get this done in 3. Obviously, it's not going to be the case for these gentlemen. They are too evenly matched. But you would hope to get this done in 3 to save some of that, some of your gas for those later rounds.
For sure. And even if whoever loses this one, they get bumped down into the B bracket. They're not done yet, as this is the A bracket, and you must lose twice in order to be eliminated. But I see this one going the distance, especially with shots like that. Double clutch again, and we're going back to big axe.
All right. Now I wonder if we're going to see, at this point, it could be lulling somebody into a false sense of security, constantly calling clutch and making it a given that everybody's going to go for it. I wonder if we're going to see from one of these players someone call clutch and them to change their minds and go
pull it back
instead. Totally illegal move. Definitely something that they could do if they decided on it. And definitely part of that psychological game that's not to be underestimated here with axe throwing.
And especially the way, as we've been talking all along, with the level of competition here, it's starting to become you need to play a little bit of head games here and there to try and get that advantage.
At what point does the sportsmanship fall by the wayside?
Yep, for sure. As we head into the points rounds here now, and they're going for clutches, it sounds like. Strawn to throw first to set the point. And it looks like he's just outside.
Now,
so with
this
a
would
chance
be one of those
to win.
moments that would predict the rest of the match. If Sully changed his mind and went to just a points throw, he could take this round.
That's
now,
true.
Knowing Sully, I don't think that's something he would ever do in this kind of high stakes environment. And I also think he's confident in his clutch game to be able to know that it's a definite possibility.
Low there, but yet we've seen them both hit one today. So it's definitely possible. But yeah, as you said, a chance there where Sully could have stepped back and said, you know what, I'm just going to go for points. I'm going to end this round, take the lead here, but chooses to go clutch. Strawn is low and away.
Now, dropping those big axes, especially dropping them low into the target like that, is a sign of fatigue. It's a very minor one, but you start to see a lower throw when people start to get a little bit tired.
Especially this far into the day. These guys have played 6 and 7 games now. It's a lot of throwing and a lot left to come, but not for Sully as he steps up and splits the clutch in half. And you can hear the crowd there cheering his name. As Chris Sully now takes a 2-1 lead here, heading into game number 4. Strawn Riley looking to tie the match and send us to game 5.
Now, Sully's throws are getting dangerously close to under rotating. You hear that little double tap almost of the handle hitting when the blade hits. That would make me a little nervous. I wonder if he's going to start correcting.
Yeah, you can see it there, sticking with the handle touching into the one area, even though he's got the bullseye. You can good eye there.
I think that Sully's got enough of a power and enough of a clean wrist movement for that not to be normally an issue. But if you start adding nerves in the way that these later rounds of competition definitely would, add that extra pressure, I mean, it would not shock me to see a dropped axe here.
Yep. And it might just be something, a simple adjustment. And it looks like he's made it there with a nice clean 5 there.
Exactly what we noticed.
Took that just quarter step back from where he was standing to allow that axe to get back around properly. As we are all tied here, final axe double clutch called. Sully nails it. Strawn to match. And he splits it in half, 100%, no doubt there. And we're going back to big axe.
These guys have a lot of respect for each other. It's always great to see that. I mean, I know that we talk about the psychological aspect, but there's the other side of it where sometimes just a good, clean match is what you're looking for. And sometimes that is going to push you to heights that you wouldn't normally get. You know, that the level of respect both sides is going to cause you maybe to push that extra mile mentally and physically in these later rounds.
Call that clutch instead of going for the bullseye because you know that your opponent's going to hit it.
Right. Sully's been setting point a lot. Is that something he wants to do? It seems I don't see them doing rock, paper, scissors or doing any kind of randomized choices to who goes first and second.
I'm not sure. I didn't see if they did it before the first big axe, but then they have just rotated back and forth since for the last couple.
As you know, that's just to break paint. The first axe is always just to break paint. This is where we're going to set the point here.
And Sully to do so, stepping up here. And clutch has been called. And he's just wide.
Now, Strawn has a chance to put this evens at 2-2 with the clutch here.
Which is an interesting situation again, because if he pulls back, then he hits a point and we're tied and going to game 5. If he misses here, we still continue. So we go to another round. Sully talks him into another clutch party here.
I wonder if this is part of Sully's game. If pulling these big axe clutches, you naturally have to put your arms a little bit higher. Your upper body needs to be positioned a little bit farther back. I mean, it's definitely harder on your back and harder on your shoulders. It could be a move.
As he drops. But yes, definitely something there that he's trying to, even just by calling the clutch and making the decision for Strawn, or making him have to decide whether he wants to throw for clutch or not, is all part of the head games maybe even. He's trying to get that mental advantage. And Strawn ties the match with a clutch there, splitting it in half. And we're going to game 5. All tied 2 apiece. Chris Sully in the red shirt, Strawn Riley in the black. As they hug it out, heading in to the rubber match.
This is really one of those high-profile matches. Seeing Sully and Strawn face off before the best of 7 rounds. you know, you don't always get treated to those kind of matchups.
Oh, exactly. This is something that last year you would have seen in the quarterfinals.
Correct.
Even the semifinals, I believe these two played last year.
I wonder if Suli's going to correct those. You know, those throws are getting a little dangerously upright. There we go.
A little bit of an adjustment there as he hits it nice and clean in there.
And it is a natural thing to want to get a little bit closer to the target, to feel, you know, when the adrenaline's pumping, to take that extra couple inches closer.
And just feel like you're closer and placing it that little bit better for sure. And here we are, right where we thought we'd be, tied at 20 apiece here in game number 5. Clutches to end it off. And they split it yet again. High fives all around, and we're heading back to Big Axe.
Wow.
Folks, this is not even a finals. This is just one of the final matches of the A bracket. But
correct. I mean, this is Clash of the Titans right here. We're seeing some high-level competitors beating pretty early in the tournament. Whoever does take this round might see themselves in a position to be a little worn out moving into their next game.
For sure. They do get a little bit of a break here after this one. They will get a bit of a rest as we wait for the B bracket to get sorted out. But definitely lots of throwing to come here as Strawn is thrown first, and he broke paint. And Suli matches, so we head to the points now.
All right.
Talking about whether they're going to go clutches or not. It looks like they're just, oh, they have called it. Clutches have been called. And we go right back to it. Just wide to the left for Strawn.
Strawn knows it too. He sees that this could be the end. It's one throw away, and it's something very unnerving about losing the power to be able to control your destiny. As soon as you give that person the cleanup throw, he's got to be sweating.
See if Suli can handle the pressure and put this one away here with a clutch. And he does! Chris Suli moves on in the A bracket. Strawn Riley is bumped down to the B bracket, but he lives on. He will still play some more. And in our other match on the far side, Chris Suli wins this one. Just looking here to see how Ken S. and Erin Gerrard have done. Hasn't updated just yet.
That was such an impressive showing. Now, I don't think this is the last we're going to see from Strawn. I think that we are definitely going to see more from him in the rest of this tournament. Do not count him out with just one loss. I mean, he's only going back to B bracket. Remember, 2 losses and you're out of the tournament, but one, Strawn has gone undefeated so far today, up until this point.
Up until this point, for sure. As he moves on and to face a competitor we just saw earlier, he'll face Cappuccino in the B bracket now.
Oh, that's another big match.
Another clash of titans for sure. As we get down to the closing rounds here, you're going to see very few threes, if any. It's going to be all about the bullseyes and all about the clutches here as we move forward from anyone, whether it's the A bracket or the B bracket.
And if you do see a 3, that's probably the end of that round for that competitor.
It very well could be. We just wait for the update here to see who has moved on from the match that was being played on the other side. And it looks like Erin. Sure. As we wait for the update there, we'll look at take a moment here to thank our sponsors yet again for the National Axe-Throwing Championship here at Battle Villiers in downtown Toronto. Presented by Beau's All Natural Brewing Company. Our title sponsor here today is part of the National Axe-Throwing Federation's National Championship here today. And our other sponsors, Gardner, Grandier Roberts, MNP, Firepower Capital, the Doc Ellis, Fresh Ink, Screen Printing, Woodhouse Brewery, RBC Foundation, and Sailor Jerry's, as well as the Backyard Axe Throwing League here, Battle, for hosting. And
also, a big special thanks to all our NATF organizations, every single one of them that's in the house today from all over the world, that's here not only to send their competitors into this NATC, the National Axe Throwing Championship, but also to compete in skills later today.
That's going to be quite the competition as well. We won't have any live stream of that, but it's a lot of different skill games being played. You've got your ambidextrous, you've got your doubles, your time trials, and your around the world being played today. Just some other skill games to just show off the level of talent that's in the crowd today.
Ambidextrous and time trials being very specific to winter skills. I know that doubles and around the world are something we play at every skills competition, whether we do it twice a year, but every single season we got two that we sneak in there just once. And ambidextrous is going to be one of those that's throwing two axes, one in each hand, and obviously time trials, the ever competitive time trials that I think are actually going on right now as they're winnowing through the heats. We should hear a winner at some point by 7 o'clock today. Time trials is one of my favorite events. I love it. There's such a physical element to be able to get through all three types of throwing, be it regular, 1.5 rotation, and underhand throwing. 4 of each. The points and your total time count towards your final score.
And that might be one of the best skills events that we host, because it is really a demonstration of your ability to not only throw regular, nice straight overhand throw, but having to do that underhand, having to do that 1.5,
right,
and do it in a period of time while running up and down the course.
Right. I'm also pretty partial to doubles. I know we don't have a ton of events that are team-based events. Doubles and are one of our summer skills, Yahtzee, are being the only ones so far.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting to see two people come up. I know that there's definitely been some costumes bandied around. You can see them around the space. People really getting into the mood for this competition later tonight.
Yeah, there's a few costumes running around the building today.
I saw a
people
suit
get
of armor
dressed
for
up
sure.
and do some fun stuff. A few people have dyed their hair for the event to match their partners, and it's should be a lot of fun. But right now we're just waiting on the boards to get reset here as we head back to the B bracket. As we're looking at Strawn Riley, we'll get to see him right back at it here in the B bracket against Cappuccino on this side.
No rest for the wicked for Strawn.
Right
that
back
long
to
match with Sully is definitely going to be in the forefront of his brain, playing somebody like Cappuccino.
And then we've got Ken S. and Evan F. on the far side. Both Peterborough Axe-Throwing competitors that have joined us today. But we'll start off here as we'll get to see the live action between Strawn Riley and Cappuccino. As the coaches just get ready in the... Ian Bobby just stepping away here for a moment, but he'll be back in a little bit. Oh, actually, we have a new guest host, color commentator. Joining us, this is Big Will from London, Battle London, joining us here on the mic. How are we, sir? Great to see you.
I didn't have a bad match. I just got knocked out against Cap, who's going to be throwing up here now. So
he's coming back in. Yeah, you had quite the day yourself. Quite the match against Aaron Gerrard.
Gerard, Adam, Traverse, Cap, Beast Wars. Man, you look down the list I faced today, it was insane.
You had a tough route for sure. But now you're here. Now you're with me.
Now I'm
Welcome.
here.
Welcome.
Now I'm
Great
here. I
have
get to
you.
enjoy some of the action. I've been kind of behind the scenes and missed some of the big matches already today.
There's been some good ones for sure, and yours right up there with some of the best that we've seen already today.
Man, we got two heavy hitters right here with Strawn and Cap, eh?
Strawn and Cap, they've both been on the screen already today, so the fans are familiar. You got Cappuccino in the tie-dyed shirt and Strawn Riley in the black. As Strawn starts us off with a bullseye here, and Cap looks like he's matched, but it's a bit tight. Having a look and calling for the device. So the device master, Wes, comes out.
Oh, yeah, doing a measurement.
Having a look, and he'll let us know.
Yeah, this would be a final match.
Oh, yeah,
in this
for
tournament
sure.
any day of the week.
The one we just watched between Strawn Riley and Chris Suley, that could have easily been a finals.
Well, Suley's been here before, and I think in the first NATF or NATC tournament.
Finished second, yes.
Came in second.
Yeah.
So again, another big name, and he's been a little bit quiet this year throughout the seasons.
Yeah.
But boy, he's really put it together here today.
Yeah,
it's been great to see him.
This is exactly when you need that throw to come together. This is the time to have it all in check, and so far from what we've seen from him today, it's been good.
Cap looks like he's rushing it a little bit.
We're into our
Might be a bit nervous.
first matches of the best 4 out of 7 now in order to win this as we move along here in the A bracket. Cap throwing a couple threes to start, which is a little bit out of the ordinary for Cappuccino. Strawn has thrown a 3 as well, though, to keep Cap in it. Cappuccino from Ottawa, Strawn Riley out of Pickering.
All right, he's going clutch. He's taking a big move here, going to take the win.
He wants to end this round now. Avoid the big axe, and he does. So
if I was Strawn in that position, he's such a strong clutch thrower. I mean, he's got to be confident in some of the numbers he's put up this year.
Oh, for sure. Well, we were discussing earlier with he and Bobby and just the records that he's setting with the 81s and the 27s. It's off the chart, and you see his confidence in the clutch there. Cappuccino is no slouch either, though. He's got his numbers in the 81s. He's got 10 or 12 of them himself, so he's no stranger to the clutch game as well. We're all tied here in round number 2 of the best 4 out of 7. Strawn Riley leading 1-0. And we're tied at 15 here as Strawn gives the thumbs up to Cap there. With 2 axes left here in game 2.
I know in our match, Cap, when I did get up, he threw a couple threes. He wasn't shy going forward. Oh, wow.
And a tough break there as the over-rotation gets to him. As he bobbles
that is
out.
Surprising.
He'll need to shake that off. But Strawn can put it away here and take a 2-0 lead, and he does.
That's it. Wow, man, it's like 2 games already. This is the best 4 out of 7, I think, at this point.
Best 4 out of 7 as we move along, and it's 2-0 here for Strawn Riley. They're both keeping it up.
So what do you do if you're Cap here? You're down 2, feel a little bit of pressure, and just keeping your own game, one axe at a time?
Exactly. You just got to stay focused on that bullseye. Just make sure you're hitting your 5s. If Strawn hits 2, then you go for your clutches at the end, and you just got to make him make his throws as well.
That's right.
You can't really worry about him. You just got to move forward and make sure you're getting your 5s. As we go to axe 4, all tied, shot for shot, just what Cap needs so far right now. As he hits again.
Right now, they just settled in. They're comfortable. Toes are looking pretty solid.
Cappuccino shaking off that drop from round 2 to hit 4 5s.
Yeah.
And Strawn steps up and nails the clutch.
He's just like a machine when it comes to that clutch game he's got.
Splits that right in half. And Cap needs to hit this or he drops down to 3-0. 0-3, Paul. Pardon me.
Yeah.
And he nails it just like that. We're going to big axe here, folks.
All right.
Great shot there from Cap. Strawn split. Cap had the pressure to hit, but he stepped up and
Yeah, when somebody gets that clutch in front of you when you go in there, and then you got to come up and step up and hit it, there's a little extra pressure on that. But I know these guys do it day in and day out when they're in league, so.
They certainly do. And you saw it even in summer skills with Cappuccino and around the world got into a bull-off because they were tied. They had hit all the spots they needed to hit. Cappuccino stepped up and they had hit 16 bullseyes in a row and then had to go clutches and hit 3 of those in a row. And
yeah, that's exactly right. It was just against Adam Traveris.
Adam Traveris from London, that's correct.
Yeah. Finished second here last year to Stefan Herta.
That's true. And still going here today,
wow.
I believe.
This is just solid throwing. Even under just paint, they're still getting bullseyes.
And now we're into the points. Cappuccino to set the stage here. They're just going for regular points. They chalked it out.
Oh, no! Now, it's really surprising, but since I just lost to Cap and I dropped big axe, I know exactly what he's feeling. You're still putting the same effort in. You think you got the same throw. and you get that drop, it really kind of can throw you for a little bit.
As Strawn steps up and makes him pay for the drop, hitting a 3. Tough break there for Cappuccino, as you said. That you never want to see somebody or want to lose a round like that, let alone see somebody lose a round like that. But
and as a competitor, somebody throwing at you, you want them to be at their best.
Exactly.
As you go through the match,
you want everybody hitting all their throws and making forcing in somebody into a bullseye or a clutch if they need be. But drops are always tough. So Cap finds himself in a bit of a hole here, down 3-0 in this best 4 out of 7. A win here for Strawn Riley moves him along. Cappuccino would be eliminated as we are now in the B bracket.
At this level of competition this late in the tournament, being down 3 games, that's a big hole to come out of. But, Cap's got enough game that he could easily take this to 7.
The skill's there for sure. He's definitely got the skill and the ability to do it. Whether Strawn gives him any wiggle room is yet to be seen.
That's the question. I don't think actually Strawn is going to give him that wiggle room, but you never know. You could get a drop. He could get into a little bit of a pressure situation knowing that he's closing out a match.
So far not feeling the pressure.
Solid bowls, man. They're like money all day long. They're like dead center.
They're finding the screw hole at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That screw hole looks about as big as a clutch when you're throwing on point. It's just huge. And that is the focus point for guys like this. They're literally looking at a pinhole in the center of that board.
The screw that's used to draw the target itself, and they're hitting that instead of the bullseye. They're just splitting hairs at this point. And away they go. And we head back to the final throw.
All right, what are they going to do here?
This is a tough spot for Cappuccino because he needs to win this to continue on.
Man,
Strawn's going clutch. He wants to force the situation here for Cappuccino. Oh, and he does. All he need is 1% of the paint here for clutch, and he
just bit enough to get on that.
Kissed the edge. So Cappuccino now needs to hit this clutch in order to send us to Big Axe.
Wow. Sorry, I get a little excited about watching this stuff, too, because I'm still in game mode.
It's exciting stuff here, Big Will. It's exciting stuff indeed. This is what it's all about right here. 2 competitors hitting their bullseyes. Strawn doing what he does best, throwing a 27.
27s.
Super perfect. Now Cappuccino to match and stay alive.
All right, I hope this goes to Big Axe. I really am looking forward to that game.
He's had the pressure 3 or 4 times this afternoon, and he hit them. Can he do it again here to keep himself in the match?
Yeah.
And he does. Splits it in half. Right. No doubt there for Cappuccino.
Hey, Cap keeps himself in it. When you go to Big Axe, it's better than it can't be better than 50-50, but your chances are more equal on to have a winner outcome because so many things can happen. We've seen big drops on knots. And
if you're going to lose, this is the way to do it. In the Big Axe, in the overtime.
Okay.
Right now, just throwing for paint. They just need to touch one of the point values is enough for the first throw, and then we'll move into the points.
All right, stick one here, Cap. We want to see you go into points here.
Okay, good. He tucks it in, but you see there a little bit of under rotation, which is what cost him on that last round with the hitting handle first. And
when you throw with that single hand, sometimes you can let your hand drag down the axe a little bit longer, and that will slow the rotation, so he'll hit flatter on that.
For sure.
So that's a bit of the danger with throwing that one-handed throw, and I did notice he has a bit of a head wobble on it as he's releasing that axe as well.
For sure. He might just be a matter of, as we said earlier with Chris Sully and his under rotation, just taking a deep breath, take a quarter step back, just readjust your footing more than anything else because the throw is probably actually fine. You've just stepped a little too far.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Over-adjusted in another area. So just bring the simple thing back.
So Cap really finding himself in a tough spot here.
They have it backwards on the score here, but that's okay. We know who is up. Strawn Riley with the bullseye. Cappuccino needing a bull to continue. A clutch would win it here and send us to game 4. Sorry, game 5. Oh,
That's a close one.
that's tight.
That's a close one.
Cap gets in there and has a look. Wes out with the device.
He's right. The right move is to take a measurement on that.
Let the pro get in there. Let him get in there with that device and have a look.
Exactly. Because you got a little bit of that axe just sticking out at the bottom. That takes away a little bit from that 3-point value. Because if he hit flat, it probably would have been a 3.
And you can see there, it just tucked in underneath there, so it's a 5 on the one side. Wes steps up, and he calls it good. And we continue on.
Right. Amazing. Amazing.
Into more points. Round 3, the second round for points. So Strawn steps up to set the stage. And Strawn
That's a 3.
throws a 3. He's a little bit low and outside to the right. So a bullseye here would keep Cappuccino in the match. Cappuccino lining up his shot here.
There we go. Soren got corrected on there.
And he nailed it. And Cappuccino lives on.
Wow.
With a bullseye dead center with the big axe, and we head to game number 5.
Jesus.
Strawn Riley with a commanding 3-1 lead at the moment, though.
That's a great momentum booster for yourself coming off a big win like that. Your back's against the wall through that entire match. You could not even make one mistake just to get a chance to go to the next game.
And sometimes that's all it takes, just that little bit of momentum shift. We'll see if he can carry that over here into game 5, pull himself back in it. You see it plenty of times. Guys get up 3-0 and getting that, just like in any other sport, baseball, basketball, football, getting that final win, getting that last,
That's right.
Point.
They go in the mode of protecting the lead as opposed to taking the win.
We'll see how
I don't think that would be true about Strawn. Again, a little bit of a hiccup here by Cap. It can also work the other way. You know, you had that big momentum and all that adrenaline flowing, and now you just come off of that.
Right.
You'll often see people that go to big axe and they come back. That first throw can be either high or low because they've just thrown the weight difference between those two axes.
And you saw it there, too, with Cappuccino hitting the 3.
Yeah.
And it was just slightly low, as you said. But double bulls, and we're back on track here. But Cappuccino finds himself down 2 points here with 2 throws left here. Game number 5.
It'll be interesting to see if Strawn goes to try to take the win, knowing he's up.
And he does. He
for
calls clutch. Clutch would end it here. If he hits it, it's done, and he moves along.
Yeah.
And there it is. Strawn Riley out of Battle Pickering is moving on to the next round of the B bracket.
He really pushed that match, I think, from beginning to end. You know, when he had a chance, even if he was up 2, he went clutch. You know, Big Axe was solid. A couple of small mistakes by Cappuccino, I think, ultimately hurt him in this match. Yep. But a great performance by both these guys.
And you see it there, too. You see how just the smallest mistake can cost so much,
right?
Especially at this level.
Well, normally you're up by 2. Most guys will go to Big Axe, go for the bull, take that chance on Big Axe. But Strawn's game is so good with the clutch that, I mean, the clutch probably looks as big as the bull right now for him.
Exactly.
So I think that was the best move that he could have done in this situation. Big momentum booster going into the next round, which I think takes him into the finals, doesn't it?
Let's have a look here. Let's take a look and see where he's moved on to in our standings here.
Oh, look at that. I'm looking great.
Will
I got to be able to hear you.
He's
so
fresh out of games.
That's right. Let me try to clean myself up a little bit here. There we go.
But we're all set here. So
right.
We've got Strawn Riley has moved on, and he will be playing Ken S., who has taken that match that was being played on the other side.
Ken has really proven to be a powerhouse. Throwing really coming out of, I wouldn't say out of anywhere or nowhere. This guy's been putting up numbers all season long that are, you know, into the elite top 2% of all throwers, I think, right now. A serious, serious threat today.
Yeah, for sure. And then we're heading down into this will be the A bracket final is set now between Chris Sully and Erin Gerrard. The B final, or the B semifinal is how it would work out, is Ken S. against Strawn Riley. So before we get to that, we're going to step through and go through some of our sponsors here, thanking them again for their generous support here. Without them, this wouldn't be happening this weekend. As we look at our title sponsor, Bose All Natural Brewing. Thank you, Bose, for your help here today with the National Axe-Throwing Federation's National Championship Tournament here from Battle Villiers in downtown Toronto. As we look at Battle for hosting today, we thank them, as well as Sailor Jerry's, RBC Foundation, Cherry Street Barbecue, Grandier Roberts, MNP, Firepower Capital, the Doc Ellis, Woodhouse Brewing, and Fresh Ink Screen Printing. Thank you all for your support today as we take a look at some of our National Axe-Throwing Federation members here. Axe Nation, we've got Battle here today. We've had a few people here from Chopper's Hatchet House, as well as our Australian friends from Maniacs down in Sydney and Melbourne, Australia.
Did we have a couple people up from Maniacs, I think, this week?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of them made their way up, as well as our friends from Philadelphia at Urban Axes there, and from Pittsburgh as well. And the Peterborough Axe-Throwing has a couple of members still going here today. They've been putting on quite the show.
We got Chris from Peterborough. We played earlier today, and I was lucky enough to actually beat Chris in that match head-to-head.
That would have been a tough one. That would have been a pretty tough match.
It was a very tough match. It all came down to Big Axe. It's funny, the last few matches, I've played almost all of them today. At some point or another, I lost to Erin, I'm sorry. Of course, we throw together in London every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Again, it was a 5-round match.
Right.
4 27s. We had 27s, almost blanked it all in. Again, it was a Big Axe match that decided that final outcome.
This is what we were talking about with Ian Bobby earlier, just that next level of competition that we've hit at this point, where you're hitting 27 and that's not good enough. Super perfect isn't good enough anymore. You got to go to Big Axe and then you're going clutch.
When you play 5 rounds and 4 to the 5 are 27s, and you both miss clutch on the first one and you still lose, you have to wonder, what the hell do I got to do?
Right? What did I do wrong?
It's just that the competition is that good. One good thing that on the far side, we got Sully and Erin. Erin's very deliberate in the way he throws.
For sure.
Sully, of course, is a little bit more loose. But again, such a gamer.
Yeah.
Erin has been dreaming of this
playing this
for the 2.5 years that I've known him. And I expect to see a little bit of motion out of Erin today. When he does make that big shot, we're going to get a little bit of that Tiger Woods kind of thing happening. And then right in front of us was Strawn, and that's Chris.
Chris PB
again,
out of
it's
Peterborough.
Just going to be an amazing match.
Against Strawn Riley, who's playing his 3rd match in a row. This is one of the tough parts about having to get your way through the B bracket, is you're playing constantly. Like it gets to be a bit of a grind here.
Well, everybody ends up in B except that one A bracket winner, right?
Yep.
So the farther you go, the bigger and bigger the hitters are that you're going to face.
Yep. And we talking earlier, our 5-time champion Stefan Herta has been eliminated in the B bracket.
I know.
He has never been in the B bracket before.
He always qualifies out of A, but it's just a testament on how much he's looked up to and how people wanted him as a target. I mean, that's just a great deal of respect. Everybody wanted to meet him or face him.
100%. And you see it in how a lot of people have started altering their throws to throw like him, and with that gentler toss rather than the hard power behind it, which a lot of us started with.
It really revolutionized the way people started throwing, instead of just picking up like the old baseball style of throw. Changing it, of course. We got OG Arm come walking in.
Good morning, everyone.
Good to have you, Arm.
Feeling good? So he's one of the original backyard axe throwing guys right here. He doesn't look old enough to be around that long.
He's so cute.
Right?
12 years.
12 years. So I'm just a baby.
Strong over here. Watch it go.
You're not going to.
One of these ones here.
I'll leave you, boys.
Oh, Arm's walking away, so we're okay. Thanks for stopping by, Arm. Good to have you out, buddy. Good to see you. So we are down to the semifinal of A bracket. What is going on with this? Right. So we've got Chris Sully and Aaron Gerrard.
So right now
Would
it's just
be
to be
the match
cannibalizing each other at this point,
Yes.
right? I believe all these guys now have qualified to have some prize money, part of the prize pool of today.
Yes, I believe the top 6 today will be going
Top
home with
6?
a little bit of the pot today. They get the
Man, I think
bit
I
of the
finished
prize money.
7th. Why couldn't I get a piece of that pot, Tom?
Last year I was 5th. I was a year behind.
Oh, man. I started 25, finished 25 last year. This year, this is a whole new experience.
Whole new experience.
Bigger.
And that goes back to our sponsors, just them stepping up and helping us out this weekend and making this the event that it is. Without them,
I'm a big fan of almost all the sponsors we have on there. Some of them I get to enjoy personally, like Woodhouse and Bose, Cherry Street Grill.
It's all delicious, and we're experiencing it
I
all
talked
today.
in from coming over to Yorktown, like, where do I get my barbecue is what my thing was.
So you're seeing here now that the boys are doing rock, paper, scissors here to decide which side of the arena they would like. So the winner decides if they go on the left side or the right side, and it's been a tie so far. It's been a tie so far as they're having a bit of fun here. This is the lighter side of the game here for sure.
At this point, you know what? These guys are both so good. I don't think the boards really have that big of an impact. They're playing a little bit of a mind game with each other.
I think so too, yeah.
They may get the lane that they want, but they may have hinted they wanted the other.
Just to trick the other into picking the side
Exactly.
that they didn't want.
So then you think they have a mental weakness, but really they could be just playing against each other.
Exactly.
There's a lot of that gamesmanship that goes on. It's friendly, it's subtle,
for sure.
but it does go on.
It's a lot of fun for sure. And you can see it here as Sully has won the rock, paper, scissors tournament here. Best 2 out of 3, and he has chosen to be on your left-hand side in the red shirt there.
I
Aaron
just see,
Gerard from Battle London is on your right.
Aaron will go through this routine 2 or 3 times. If he has a little bit extra time, he'll stand up there. He might go up, look at the boards. He might have already done that. Of course, Sully, a veteran, really, for the North American Axe-Throwing Federation, also the Backyard Axe-Throwing League.
Oh, for sure.
Mad respect for him at all levels.
So you'll see here, this is a best 4 out of 7. This is the A bracket final, not the final. That will wait until we have
It's a little high.
a winner.
He got it. He got the thumbs up.
He's a bit high as he makes the board bleed a little bit there with that throw. Bit of a run there, but he gets it.
You can see very deliberate technique by Aaron. Again, a very much technician on every aspect of throwing, the way he stands. He's recently cut down his axe to the minimum standard level, length that we're allowed.
Just to get
He's
that
also
balance.
now moved his approach about a foot closer than what he's previously competed, allowing him to release almost on that red fault line.
Well, and with the adjustment of the handle, it would put some extra weight up on the top, so he would need to prevent that over rotation, need to get that little bit
Exactly.
closer. As you see,
Now,
him hit another
as you
bullseye
get
there,
closer
we
to
go
the target, you
final
need a
act.
lot more stronger technique to be able to get that axe to stick from such a close distance.
For sure. All right, so we're on the final axe here, tied at 20.
Right.
Clutches have been called here in the A bracket final. The winner of this heads to the final as Chris Sully hits it. It rolls a little bit. And Aaron Gerrard steps up and matches, and we're going to Big Axe. Imagine that.
Yeah, go big.
Tied at 27, heading to Big Axe. Who would have thought?
That's how you do it. I mean, it sounds a little bit different. All London leagues right now, the Tuesdays leagues, everybody clutch bombs on the 5th row. So Aaron's absolutely no stranger to that. You've seen Sully had been doing it before everyone else. He was the 81 guy for a long time.
Yep.
For him, clutch is just another day.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, for both of these players at this point, we're down into the final 4 here. Clutches and bullseyes are about all we're going to see at this point.
So, again, same thing. Aaron's spent a lot of time with his big axe. You'll find he's got a very much almost a 1-2-3 approach. Grip, stance, release, just to practice pull. That's all
Just
he
to
does.
practice, yep. Oh, but he's low on that one, but he's okay. It's just for the paint right now. He just has
Right
to
now,
break
paint
paint.
is all you need.
As Sully will throw his paint break. So that one that Gerard just threw there does not matter. He got what he needed, and that was paint. And we move along here
Just
as
setting a
we
little
now
tone right there, going in for
letting him know. You hit the one, I got the 5. As we head into the points here. Oh, trying to talk him into clutches, but Aaron says no. Aaron wants to go for the bullseye, and Sully accepts.
Again, a little bit of gamesmanship there. Just kind of get you out of your thought for a minute, going bull.
Ooh, and he throws the
introducing a
3.
different idea of going for clutch, right?
That's right.
So now Suli's sitting here going, all I need is bull to pull this first win. Exactly.
And that would give him the 1-0 lead here, as this is just game 1. This bodes to be an exciting match. As Suli steps up with the bullseye, and he takes the 1-0 lead here in the A bracket final. As you see there on screen with his back to us in the battle hoodie there, Stefan Herta, the legend.
Truly a legend.
Here,
I was a little surprised on that.
Battle
Sorry, Tom. I was a little surprised on that last throw that Erin did back-to-back threes. He might be feeling a little bit of nerves. He does sometimes experience those when he's throwing. This is a big match, and he's really chasing a dream here today, so he might be putting a little extra pressure on himself.
He's got himself into the money zone, as they say. He's going to walk away with something today because he's played so well, but he wants more.
He wants more.
They both do, and both players do. And you can see it here. They're tied at 10 here, and axe number 3 here. And double bulls again there. And best 4 out of 7. You got lots of time, right?
That's right.
He drops that first one with a couple threes, gets back into his zone here in game number 2, and hopefully we're probably heading to Big Axe here again. He can give it another shot, and hopefully tie this match up.
Well, they gone clutch again. Both these guys are super tight with their clutch game. I would not be surprised to see him going to Big Axe double clutch.
Not at all. Suli gets a little sideways there. And
wow.
Gerard hits, and there we are. We're tied.
Tied, just like that. Unexpected drop.
Heading to game 3 here. As Aaron Gerard hits his clutch, Chris Suli got a little bit wonky with the throw, and it missed.
Now that side that Suli chose to start this match, those clutches are pretty tight. They don't look like they've had a lot thrown on them. That may have hurt him. He might have looked at bull and not looked at clutch.
There were definitely a fresh set of boards were put in there just moments ago, so could have played a factor for sure. We talked about with Ian Bobby earlier the want to throw on a board that's maybe a little bit more chewed, just so that you have that little bit of a cushion there. But
well, I can tell you, we do practice on new boards. So if you're faced with that, the problem with the new board is that it really is an unknown. You don't know about the grain, that hidden knot that might be behind.
Yep.
So if you have an experienced board on your side, sometimes that helps you get that little extra.
Then you know what you're throwing at. You've seen what you're throwing at, but sometimes it's a little bit tough with those new ones. They might look perfect, and then you start throwing, and there's something there.
Anybody that's throwing an axe is find one it looks like every other board, but it's rock hard. You can't even make a dent in it when you throw an axe at it.
Chris Suli throws for clutch, and he says no. He looks like he's just below, but we'll have a look at that one.
No, double miss.
Gerard just outside.
That was his opportunity to go up a quick game, go back-to-back wins. That could have changed the whole momentum of this match.
Instead, we're going to Big Axe because we both missed clutch, and we're right back at it here. But that was an opportunity. It's
a missed opportunity.
Come back and take 2. But he's still in it. He still has the chance here to take this and take the lead.
Well, I have to give the edge to Suli right now on Big Axe, just based on game 1.
Yep. We'll see if
I know Erin from experience.
Recalibrate.
He will make the corrections that he needs. I would not be surprised if he comes up, bull right off to the paint, and maybe even follow that up.
And a different scenario here, too, as Chris Suli throws first this time, as they switch positions. So Erin to break paint here. And we'll see if that plays a factor at all, and see if Erin can handle that pressure. And maybe he prefers that pressure.
He does. He would admit that if he has a little something on the line, that helps him focus a little closer on his goal. So,
yep. And I think that's true for a lot of the throwers here. Is they want to have that little bit of pressure. Chris Suli to set the points here for us, and he steps up and just low and away to the right-hand side for 3 points, but a 3 nonetheless. So that means Erin needs at least a 3 to continue, or a bullseye would end it.
And there it is.
And he does. And he takes the 2-1 lead here.
The back-to-back bulls. I knew that after his last performance with the 2 threes, believe it or not, the guy can think about a lot of things at one time while he's throwing. I knew he'd make the corrections. That's just the thrower he is.
It's very true. And we expect Chris Suley to make a match of this. It's nowhere near done yet, especially Suley, as we said earlier, he finished second place but 2 years ago.
That's right.
He's looking to get back there. He's in the top 4 already, looking to get back into that final 2 and have that chance at the number 1 Wilson Cup.
The Wilson
What
Cup.
we're all after today.
Just another dream for me for another year.
You and me both, big guy. You and me both.
I did see on the other side they had a nice big axe going on between Chris and Strawn, and he's hitting clutch with the big axe. That's what all that extra noise is on in the background right now.
And there is Matt Wilson popping on the screen for everybody to say hi.
Commentary duo over here.
Thank you.
All right,
well,
here we are.
Just like another day in the office right now, bowl. It may seem boring, but the level of concentration that these guys are keeping up at this point in the match and the tournament, it's tiring, it's exhausting.
Well, it just raises the level of excitement because you don't know if they're going to hit that clutch now, because now that's what it's become. It's become about that clutch, but
they've kind of set that precedent right now where they're just going clutch.
And here they go. They've called it again. Tied at 20. 5th and final axe here of game number 4. Erin Gerrard leading 2-1 over Chris Suley. And
again,
Suley has
no surprise there.
Erin Gerrard looked like he was maybe over-rotated a bit, but that actually helped him. Because even though he was high, it slipped back into that clutch, and we're going to big axe yet again.
That's right. That's it. You're exactly right. If you watch Erin throw, and you see that over-rotation, that is his weakness. Now, he got away with it there. Sometimes he doesn't complete his throw. So we've been talking while we were leading up to this tournament about him accelerating into that clutch so that he loses a little bit of that over.
Yeah.
When he does get a miss on clutch, it's almost always over and below.
So we see here as Erin's throwing first here. Suley will step up. Again, reversing. So last time in this situation, Chris Suley, took it. The player that has thrown second has won both of the big axes so far.
We go to points. Erin's on a 3-bowl streak right now from the last game to this one. Let's see if he repeats that and puts the pressure back on Suley.
Well, he's going to set the stage here with the points and leave it up to Suley. And he does. Dead center yet again with a bull. So Suley has an option here. Does he go clutch and end it, or does he just throw for the bull? I think
it's still early in the match to maybe take that risk.
For sure, especially down 2-1.
Right.
He's looking to tie it here, so he's going to go for the bullseye just to play it safe.
I really advocate don't go chasing it early unless you really have to.
Unless you have to, for sure.
Take your chances where you're going to be strongest. Bull is strongest.
And there it is. You see it right there. Both players going dead center yet again. Getting the points they need when they need them. So
Here we are, round 2.
Set it again. Ooh,
a little bit of wiggle room right there. He might get a device measurement, even though he knows.
Although the bottom of that axe is out, so the angle might not save him here. As Wes comes in for the measurement. It
may look from people looking on that might be a 3. I don't know how many times I've been surprised that there's just enough axe with the majority of that blade stuck in there that turns out to be a bull.
And a lot of times you get saved by the paint, which is what the rule is. It's measured from the outside of that line in toward the middle, and then from the outside of that line out towards whatever's in the wood, out to the outside. And a lot of times that paint is what either makes or breaks you. Right?
Yeah, never.
And it's a 3
never
in
assume
this
it's
case.
a 3. See, now that was a bull from back where we're standing, and the people around us all said that was a 3. Oh, it's a 3. I'm sorry.
It is a 3. Yep. No, it's called the 3 as the bottom of the axe was actually out. So I think that's what cost them there, is that the bottom corner wasn't in. Bottom part of the blade there, sorry. So Suley with a 3.
See if he can tie this match up.
Bullseye. Oh, no. He's high.
He's high.
And he takes the 3. So we continue. We on to round 4.
Erin and I, we had a really great match. We did 3 bulls each back-to-back in points. Went clutch. And
that's what we saw from Suley earlier as well. They kept going back and forth. But a 3 there from Gerard. That's back-to-back for him. Suley, another chance to put it away here and tie us at 2.
A competitor like Suley, you can't keep giving them chances.
He's going to take advantage at some point, and we'll see if it's here.
Oh,
no! He knew it, too. He knew it as soon as it left his hand. You saw his head come back. He knew he was high. We go again.
All right. Now you can hear all the volumes gone up. Everybody's now interested. how
The
this is going to
excitement
turn
level
out.
is up.
All right.
And there's
We're
the
back on
bullseye we've
target.
been looking for. So we can update you here now that Strawn Riley of Battle Pickering has moved on to the B bracket final. So he will face the loser of this match, actually, between Chris Sully and Aaron Gerrard. And Chris Sully has called clutch. Wow. He will either go down 3-1 or we will be tied at 2.
It's a bold move right now to get himself back in, maybe a big momentum shifter. It's just those clutches are untested right now with both big and small axe, except
For anybody wanting to take a
get
look.
hit flat on him, man, it's going to be hard.
Oh, he had it! He had it and it dropped.
No!
Oh, no.
No!
What a tough break. The board separated a little bit too much there.
What a move, what a call. That was clearly in the clutch.
It was
And
there. He had it.
He had it.
You could see right at the end, just watching it on the screen here, that the board just shifted ever so slightly as it hit, and it was just enough to allow the gap to
Allow
it
the axe to
slide
come out. And that's some of the issues you can face when you have a brand new board like that, because it splits. There's nothing to hold the axe back in.
That's right. That's right. Good throw nonetheless. Now he was right there with it.
Wow. This is crazy, insane.
Bit of a technical error here.
The level of intensity is just getting bigger and bigger. He's just like surrounded by people standing here. Hey, how are you doing? Good, thanks. We have a lot of our fans, people that know us from all the other venues, that come up and say hi. It's
There's
pretty.
a good
It's a
crowd
nice
here
feeling.
today, especially now with skills getting started, as we were talking earlier. With skills getting underway, there's the new fresh crowd of skills competitors that maybe weren't part of the NATC today.
That's right.
They've
Yeah, for
joined
this
us for
weekend, the
skills.
All-Star weekend, you could have either qualified to enter this tournament, or you compete in the skills competition.
Yep.
So it's going to be a long day for people that are doing both.
Yep.
I'm going to be at 6 o'clock starting on the time trials. I'm starting
Right
to
back
actually
to
have
it.
second thoughts on it now. 'Cause
No
I'm getting a
rest
little
for
bit
the big
tired.
guy. No rest for the big guy, eh? Right back at it. As we just make an adjustment here on the app system, there's a bit of a technical error as it has awarded Aaron Gerrard the win, but he's only up 3-1, so we do need to go to game 5, as it is a best 4 out of 7.
I'm imagining that the
We're all set here on our end, but on the scoring system, just a minor error.
all right, they're going to go to paper. We're just
Make the adjustment for this final round while we adjust it. And we're just about ready to go as referee Wes steps up to spray the boards. So once again, I'm Tom Black. Great to have you guys out here with us today. And I'm
wow,
joined
it's
here
getting
by
loud in
Big
here.
Will out of London.
Excitement's really coming up.
And we're ready to go. For game number 5 here, Aaron Gerrard out of Battle London against Chris Sully from Battle Pickering here in the A final. Looking for a spot in the championship final. Aaron Gerrard leading 3-1 here in game number 5 of the best 4 out of 7. And we've got double bowls.
I wouldn't expect to see much different out of their small X game right now. They're just going to go back to basics, settle into what they're comfortable doing, and try to get to that 5th axe without making a mistake, either being down a couple points or having a drop.
Yep. Especially for Sully right here. He needs to just stay focused on the 5. Don't worry about what Aaron's doing. Force him into the big axe position, and if he happens to make a drop and hit a 3 or something, which this one looks close, but they're saying yes. No, they've given it to him. But if he happens to hit a 3, then you take advantage of that. But
exactly.
now he's just got to stay steady on the bullseyes here.
I have noticed the last two throws with Aaron, he's not finishing quite as much as he was before, and now his axes are either lowering in that bowl or they're coming a little bit over.
And you see
So
it
he
again
needs
there,
to stay
another close
up
one.
on his throw.
Another quarter step forward to cut that angle down a little bit.
So here we
Now
are.
sink a
This
second
is it.
here. And this is what we thought we would have.
I kind of feel like it should be going to big axe after this.
Oh,
No.
no.
It's over.
And that
It's
does
over.
it. Aaron Gerrard of Battle London hits his clutch. Chris Sully is just slightly wide to the left.
All
and
right.
Aaron Gerrard moves on to the championship final. But
Got my
Chris
bro-
Suley may meet him again as he drops down into the B bracket and stays alive.
Can you imagine? He goes down, has to play a monster like Strawn, go and compete at that level, and then bring yourself back up for a best, because you have to win twice when you come up at a B.
Exactly. It's best 4 out of 7, and being that Aaron Gerrard has yet to lose today, he will need to be beat twice, whereas he only needs to win one. So whoever comes out of this one, this is a repeat of one we saw just moments ago between Chris Suley and Strawn Riley for the B bracket championship and a spot in the NATC final against Aaron Gerrard.
On this rematch, I would expect to see a lot of the same thing. Solid bullseye, solid big axe. Again, it's going to be who ends up having that little hiccup that somebody can take advantage of.
For sure. And it's a situation here that we saw earlier. We're probably going to see some big axe clutches here because both players in their last game, once they got through that paint round where they just need to break paint, they discussed and decided to go clutches for those throws rather than throwing for those bullseyes. But we'll see if Strawn changes up his tactics here because it was always Suley that was forcing that and wanting to throw for those clutches. So we'll see if maybe Strawn this time decides let's just throw for points, which Suley's comfortable with as well. But head games maybe is all.
I think that's a good possibility. I was watching Strawn over into the other two lanes just throwing. He was going big axe clutch and he was hitting them.
Yes.
That's a good momentum booster.
Oh, for sure. Definitely it's no easy feat hitting clutch with the standard axe, let alone with the big axe, right? They make it look easy, but that's why they're here, and we're standing behind the mic, right, Will?
I got a couple big axe clutches today, but you're absolutely right. It's a different kind of throw altogether. The clutch is a little higher. They're a little farther away. You got to have a bigger approach as you step into that clutch to hit it.
Some friends here. Sean
So that the
friends,
call.
come on in here. We want to say hello. You're on camera here. You can say hi to everybody at home watching them.
The crowd on this ought to be pretty amazing.
Next thing here, is this one working? So where are you from?
This is Mother Goose coming in from Philadelphia.
Sorry, what's your name?
Mother Goose. The goose is loose.
She's having a bit of fun here today. We're enjoying the show here from the Backyard Axe Throwing League at Villiers here today. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I'm going with the man bun.
Going with the man bun. Strawn Riley is her.
That's right. He's got a flowing mane behind that bun. You check out some of his videos in slow-mo, and he's dancing with it in the air.
He gets it moving along. What do you think the score is going to be?
I think the score's going to be, I think it's going to come to clutches every game.
All right, well, we're ready to go here. Thanks for joining us, Mother Goose. As Chris Suley on your left starts off with the bull, Strawn Riley hits the bull as well. And we go to axe number 2. This is once again the B bracket final. The winner of this will face Aaron Gerrard for the championship title here today at the National Axe Throwing Championships, part of the National Axe Throwing Federation, brought to you by Bo's All Natural Brewing Company. Our good friends here.
What's great about this is these guys both come off big matches. They're going right back into it. I mean, they're going to be warm. They're going to be hot. Suley just came off these lanes. He knows these boards. He knows these targets.
Exactly.
I expect this to be tight all the way through.
And both players have been throwing steady since we've gotten into this point here. A couple long matches each as Suley nails his clutch. For anyone wanting to take a look at the stats here today, visit us at axescores.com.
A rare miss right there by Strawn on clutch.
Strawn Riley misses the clutch, and Chris Suley takes an early 1-0 lead here in the best 4 out of 7. Double bulls again. As our good friend Bowie is calling this one today with Wes on the devicing. But nothing for Wes right now as we're hitting dead center at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what I expect to see right now. These guys are going to be, their focus is going to be at the highest level. They've probably been at all day knowing that this is their chance to go to the big final and take part of that. Was it $4,000 for first prize?
And the Wilson Cup.
And the
which is
Wilson
what it's all
Cup.
about, that big, beautiful trophy.
I'm looking at it right now. It is pretty spectacular.
We'll get a good view of it here shortly after this one, once it's actually on the line.
All right, these guys are going all out.
And here
They're
we
just
go,
not leaving
double
anything
clutch.
on the table right now.
And Strawn does not. Correcting his throw from the last one. And there it is. Both players just splitting the clutch in half, not leaving any question.
No.
And sending us to Big Axe.
That's when you know your focus is on right now. These guys are settled. They're confident in their throw. To see them split that clutch, dead center, almost full axe, majority of the axe in that, it's just a true testament that how well they're throwing right now.
And good to see Strawn make the adjustment. After missing the clutch in the first round, cost him that first game, makes the adjustment, splits in half, and we're off to Big Axe here. As Chris Suley starts us off, breaking paint. And Strawn Riley from Pickering. Both players actually out of Pickering in this match here. Battle Pickering.
All right. Off into points
And
now.
we head to the points. You can hear the crowd chanting. As the excitement builds and the axes clank, we have ourselves a clutch party. Well, at least on Suley's side.
Yeah, exactly.
Suley has called it.
Oh!
And he splits it in half. And the crowd is in awe.
All right, so Strawn has no option. He has to go clutch just to stay in the game.
No choice now. You're
No
right.
choice.
No choice. He's got to hit that clutch to tie it and give himself a chance here. And he's just outside, and he knew it. He knew it as soon
It's
as
a
it
tall
left
ask
him.
when you just come off watching the guy just lace a clutch and you got to come up. There's a lot of pressure on
Oh,
that.
for sure. And definitely when he hit it so clean.
So now we found Suley up 2 right away.
Heading into game 3 here in the best 4 out of 7 B bracket final. The semifinal, if you will, overall. And you can hear our good friend Bowie on the score there telling them to keep it simple. And that's all you can do. You just got to stay focused on your fives, as we've been saying. Just focus on your side of the court.
Right now,
Your side of the
when I
arena,
compete and I'm in
wrong
these situations, I actually don't even see what the other person's doing. I don't pay attention to what they're doing. I'm focusing on bull. Unless somebody tries to get my attention to see if it's a questionable call, I trust everybody implicitly. I'm just going to be concentrating on my own throw.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what these guys are doing right now. They're just in their own zone. You could probably ask them what's happening in the other lane. They wouldn't even know.
But now you see Chris Suley here as we get down to the final throw, just verifying that we're going clutch. He just always just having that ask to just try and he's confident enough as they both nail the clutches again. Oh, Strawn says no. That
Strawn's
looks
rocked up
awfully
just a little
close.
bit high.
As Wes is coming in to have a look, and he says
Wow.
no. The angle of it costs Strawn.
Now, a lot of the guys that have been throwing around for a little while, they practice to have more of a flat axe on clutch so they can take advantage of the full blade.
For sure. But who would have seen this? 3-0 Chris Suley.
I would have never guessed it.
But lots of time left.
Well, you know, with us that have been around for a little while, looking at the brackets beforehand, I'm not going to say Suley was a bit of an underdog. We always know that he'd be there at the end competing. But I think Strawn was probably a little bit more favored to make it to the finals.
Just based on his scores, based on his record coming in. Although Chris Suley, as we said, he finished second 2 years ago. He was setting the 81 records before Strawn.
Before anybody was even doing it.
So no slouches here in this match for sure.
No, he's a beast. There's no doubt about it. Of course, one of the favorites, one of the veterans around the Backyard Axe-Throwing League. I'm a little bit surprised, though. I've never noticed before that he brings his axe back over his head. It actually turns the blade in. A lot of these throwers want to keep it as straight as they can all the way to target.
And there it is again from Strawn as he dials it back in. And Suley splits
Wow.
it in half as well.
It doesn't
We're
get
going
much
Big
better than
Axe.
that.
And
Chris
we head
Suley
back
just
to the
throwing
Big
an
Axe
81 to go to the
to
championship.
go to the championship, right? It's as we talk about the 81s, he's already got one.
He's already
did it
got
right
one.
now.
He just did it three in a row. That's, of course, 27 scored in all 5 throws for the 3 rounds.
Bowie announces it to the crowd. Fighting for his life here is Strawn Riley, as Bowie says. And he breaks
Might be
the
getting
paint.
a little
That's
bit
all
into his
needs.
own head. He looked like a little bit. He wanted to take a breath after that throw, so he knows he's got a lot of work ahead of him here.
The one thing with that paint round is it gives you that little bit of cushion. As long as you stick it in, it might be a bad throw, you can shake it off. As long as
Exactly.
you stuck
It really is a
you're good.
de-stress throw just to get back in the routine of throwing that axe when you go make it a point.
And now it matters, and Strawn's going to step up to set us for the points. Set the table, if you will. And here we go. No, he calls clutch and goes high. So Chris Sully with a clutch here.
I don't think he's going to go clutch. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to, but all day he has been doing the honorable thing, the sportsman thing, if you will.
To
and
match.
He calls clutch.
In this case, I think there he goes.
And he's got the confidence to do it. He just needs to put it away here, and he's on.
Imagine the pressure standing there
championship.
right now to close
No!
it out. So now we go back into sudden death.
Now we're tight. Now
High
we're into
point
sudden death
score again.
Now, what do they do here?
I would probably back it down to Bulls, man. I mean, I wouldn't try to push it to clutch. Are they going to go clutch again?
They had a
He
discussion.
had
There.
called
I didn't
clutch.
see what they decided on. There was a clinking of the axes, so they may have agreed to, and it looks like they have. Clutch called by Strawn.
This is a really strong move right here. If you hit this.
And he,
Oh.
he looks like he has. The crowd says yes. Strawn is uncertain, but he throws up the thumb. Referee Wes out to have a look.
Oh.
Wes is up on his tippy toes. And it's
All
good.
right. Good.
Wes makes the call. So now, a clutch from Chris Sully. We continue on. Anything
continue
less, Strawn Riley moves on, or not moves on, but stays
Oh,
alive.
he stays alive, right? Because he's under the gun right now. Everything that he does is only to advance to the next game.
That's right. Down 3-0 here.
Oh! Unbelievable. Double clutch.
That's the same spot that Chris Sully hit earlier that it rattled out.
Yes.
But this time he buries it in. And the crowd chanting Sully.
This is about as good as it gets right now when you go on big axe. You know,
Oh,
you had
for
a little
sure.
bit of hiccup. They go for the big shot, and they both deliver.
And this is what it's all about. You got two players that hit 27s to get here. Two players hitting clutches to continue on.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Again, Strawn just pulling everything out right now to stay alive.
They both missed their first one on the same identical throw, rattles and bounces out. And then they both split them in half to move on. Can Sully match here, though?
This place will go crazy if he hits this clutch right here.
Oh, the roof might come off. It's maybe early for that yet, but there will be a lot of excitement for sure. And he's high and away.
Okay.
So Strawn Riley lives on, pulls us back to 3-1 in
right.
favor of Chris Sully.
Again, he's still under a lot of pressure here. He's in a sudden death situation. He has to pretty much win every match from here on out to advance.
For sure. But he's one throw at a time. Give himself that chance to face Erin Gerrard, who's waiting in the championship final. Double bowls to start with 4 axes remaining here in game number 5. Chris Sully, as you can see there on your screen, leading 3-1. He won the first 3. Strawn Riley has taken game number 4. And we're 3 throws in to game 5.
I know Chris has got to be thinking right now. A couple matches I had earlier today, I was down the first 2 or down the matches, had to win them out to finish and advance. I was lucky enough to have that happen twice today, so I'm not counting Strawn out yet.
No, definitely not. You definitely can't. I mean, Sully does have that little bit of wiggle room, right? But you don't want to let Strawn get any closer. You've got him at 3-1. End it now if you can. But if he happens to drop this one, he goes to 3-2. Hopefully he can close out that next one. But you don't want to let Strawn get any closer.
Well, dueling 27s right now. Of course, Sully's just throwing 4 27s in a row. I mean, that's That's just unbelievable, his level of concentration right now, just to keep pulling those clutches out.
And I think that's what we're going to see from anyone left the rest of the afternoon here. 27s all the way through. As Sully steps up to start us off with a paint break and a bullseye. Not worth any points at this point, but sets the stage for Strawn Riley. And he steps up and matches. So now we move into points with Chris Sully starting us off and looking. The crowd trying to talk them into clutch. And
all right, clutch called.
The clutch has been called.
I mean, these guys are just being a little bit insane right now, you know. Really putting on a show for everybody, going for clutch with big axe.
Altogether. This is another level for sure. Oh! No, he's just high.
No, I don't think so.
See it there, just above. It just tilted slightly too far up and came out. Otherwise, he had it. So, a clutch here from Strawn.
This would be huge for him to win this one on back-to-back clutch big axe wins.
Oh no! You can see it there. There's just a little bit of daylight.
I see a little bit of light in there.
Daylight. Oh, millimeters away from moving along.
They're going to do it all over again, of course. These guys putting everything out there.
Expect nothing less from these two. Oh.
Okay.
This is going to be it. Strawn can go for clutch, but he does, and he is going to do it. He's going to do the sportsman, be a good sportsman and go for the clutch. And he gets it.
It looks like he's got it. I mean, he's on fire right now with that big axe going clutch.
And that brings us to 3-2 now and makes it a little bit more interesting as we discussed earlier. Strawn gets that little step closer. Down 3-0. Finds himself at 3-2 now.
You got to think Sully's like, man, what else do I got to do? I've been throwing everything at this guy, and he keeps finding a way to come back.
He hasn't missed a shot. He's missed a big axe. That's it. Yeah. He hasn't missed a shot, and
the
he's
guy's
up 3-2.
so perfect for 4 rounds in a row, and he finds himself only up 1 game.
It's been like that all day today, just non-stop bulls and clutches, which is exactly what we've come to expect here, especially now as we get down to Game 6 here, all tied at 10. And Strawn himself has only missed the 1 throw. He missed that 1 clutch in game number 1.
Exactly.
And that was it.
I think he missed 1 and 3, and that's what got Sully that extra win on the Game 3.
True.
Yeah.
That's correct.
But outside of that, these guys have been absolutely perfect, except for a few little drops here and there with the big axe. But their small axe game right now is, oh, that's a close one.
Close one
now
there for Chris
this
Sully.
Could be very interesting if that ends up being a 3.
It'll be tight, but that line might save him there. He's in about the 50-50, but that usually saves you with the paint line there, especially when you've got it buried in like that. It'll be tight, though.
What a momentum shift it would be if this ends up being 3-3.
But our main man, Wes, in there with the device. He'll make the call, and he sets the bullseye. The line saves him. The line saves him.
Sully find himself down 2. Strawn going to steal the win from Sully. He's going to go take it here.
And that's a good response, though, from Chris Sully. He missed his first throw of the match here, but stepped up with a clutch, or stepped up with a 5. And Sully now finds himself tied as Strawn does what he does best and hits a clutch.
It's unreal what they're doing right now.
Sully missed 1 throw. 1 throw. And it's cost him, and now he's tied. What a match.
This is kind of what I'd expect to see in this match. I was a little surprised early on with Chris going up 3.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask anybody all day long, they would say this would be best of 7 for sure.
For sure. Now that's what we get.
Now
we get a
that's
little
what we
bit
get.
of extra fun here. And I expect this to go to Big Axe as well. Both players are dialed back into that bullseye. Sully showing maybe a little bit of fatigue over there, but he's sorting it out.
I can't imagine the kind of pressure that Sully's feeling right now, knowing he kind of had that 3-0 lead, only had to close out 1 more game, secure that berth in the final, and here you have Strawn. That train just keeps coming and coming and coming.
And you got the mental game, just having to focus on those throws so much. No room for error. As you saw it, he's missed one throw and he's tied 3-3. Like it's no
unreal.
room for error.
Here we go.
And clutch is called. Here we go for a spot in the championship final, or we head to Big Axe. Strawn splits it for Sully.
Oh,
Away! And Strawn
going
Riley has climbed all the way back from down 3 games to 0 and has won it here in Game 7 with a 27. And he's moving on.
I have
The
to
National Axe-Throwing Federation Championship Final here, brought to you by Bo's Natural Brewing.
Wow.
It will be Strawn Riley from Battle Pickering against Erin Gerrard from Battle London.
One of my hometown boys.
It bodes to be a great match here as we head into it now. As we mentioned earlier, Strawn Riley, coming from the B bracket, will need to beat Erin Gerrard in 2 full matches. So this could potentially wind up being a best out of 14, not a best out of 7.
That, like 14, seeing 27s, seeing Big Axe almost every match or every round.
And that might be what we get here. That might be what we get.
We got our front row seat to one of the best matches. Seeing these two guys throwing almost perfect all the time, even in their own hometown leagues, you know, out of their own clubs, and now they bring the same game all the way to the NATC finals.
All the way to the Bo's Natural Brewing National Axe Throwing Championship Final.
All right. I'm going to tap out for a little bit.
Big Will is
My
stepping
throat's
out.
getting a little bit scratchy. I've been fighting off a cold.
And our good friend Ian Bobby's coming back in as we take a look and thank our sponsors once again. Our title sponsor, Bo's All Natural Brewing. Thank you for hosting us here today. Without them, we wouldn't be here, right?
We wouldn't be here, and I don't think we'd be as enjoying this as soberly
As we
could have been.
could have been, right? But we didn't want that. We didn't.
Yeah.
As we look at the
Listen.
National Axe Throwing Federation, who is the governing body of the tournament here today for the National Axe Throwing Championship. It's been a great day of throwing as we thank Battle as well, the Backyard Axe Throwing League, for hosting us here at Battle Villiers, Sailor Jerry's, RBC Foundation, Cherry Street Barbecue, Grandier Roberts, MNP, Firepower Capital, the Doc Ellis, Fresh Ink Screen Printing, and of course Woodhouse Brewing Company.
We want to thank all of those sponsors because without them, this obviously wouldn't be possible. And the lesser known part of this competition, the charity donation to Red Door Family Shelter, would not be possible. So we got to thank all of those sponsors for giving so generously to make sure that events like this can not only be amazing to watch, but they can be for a great cause.
Yes, and you brought up a good point there that we haven't mentioned yet, is that the Red Door Foundation, that the part of the proceeds from today's event are going
to the Red Door Family Shelter.
Red Door Family Shelter.
Red Door Family Shelter is a Toronto organization dedicated to taking care of families in need. They take multiple donations. They have an office on Carlaw Street. If you have some spare winter clothes, some children's books, toys, things of that nature, toiletries, things like tampons, things like toothbrushes, please feel free to visit their office on Carlaw and drop those off, or to just give generously. They're a fantastic organization here in Toronto.
And it's all about giving back to the community here today.
Absolutely. Just like we're going to give them some amazing throwing. I think our commissioner and founder, Matt Wilson, is going to say a couple words.
As you can see there on the screen now as well, the Wilson Cup.
The Wilson
That's what it's all
Cup.
about here today. That's what they're all playing for, to get their name on that trophy.
Not just their name, but this trophy has been reinforced as of last year. It was a little bit broken from some boisterous drinking out of it. Not 5 minutes after Stefan Herta won it. So we've gotten a reinforced Wilson Cup.
All right, so we are going to turn things over to the man that started it all, Matt Wilson. He's going to be on the mic here. You can see him on screen here now as we try to quiet the crowd here.
Okay, all right, everyone. Okay, so before we get into the finals here, this is for the live stream, by the way. I don't have anything for you. It's not going to work for you guys. This is just for the live stream. I apologize. Thanks, Big Will. Okay, get quiet, please. I know. Before we get into the finals, I just want to show some love to the top 6 finishers tonight so far. This has been fucking nuts. It's been awesome. The competition's been crazy, and the crowd is awesome. I love it when we can get 200 people in here cheering things on. It's awesome, and we're giving prize money out to the top 6 finishers this year. So tied for 5th in this year's tournament, the 2018 NATC, we've got Evan F. and Cappuccino. Come on up here, you two. Thank you. Booyah. There's your check. Yeah. Where's Evan F? Evan! Where's Evan? Does anybody know where Evan is? All right. Well, we all know Evan threw heat. We'll make sure he gets his fantastic check here. All right. Next up, in 4th place, going home with $500, we got Mr. Ken S. Where's Mr. Ken? Yes. Before you do that, right on, man. Awesome. This guy's been throwing heat for a while. Right on. Wicked, buddy. Yeah, thanks, man. Awesome, man. Awesome. Right on. Thanks, buddy. All right. And then you just watched this match just a moment ago. You saw how crazy that was. 3rd place going home with $1,000. Mr. Chris Suley. Take it home, buddy. Right on. Nice work. All right. And so, guys, just to quickly recap, in the final, we have one person who is undefeated and one person who is coming out of the B bracket. In this case, our undefeated person is none other than Mr. Erin G. Which means, guys, in the first set of 7, if Erin G loses in that first set, we're going to throw a whole nother set of 7. He has to get beaten in 2 full best-of-7 sets to get eliminated. That's what double elimination's all about. So the man with that heavy load in front of him is Strawn Riley coming out of the bean bracket. All right. So, just before they kick it off, just to summarize, if Strawn wins the first set, we go to another set. If Erin wins the first set or the second set, Erin wins. Strawn has to win 2 full sets to take this bitch. All right? Good luck, buddy. All right, let's do this.
All right, here we go.
All right, so it is time for the National Axe-Throwing Federation Championship Final here between Erin Gerrard and Strawn Riley.
You know what, Tom? It's been a real pleasure commentating. I want to big thank you to Big Will for coming in as well, and all our guest commentators today.
Thanks for joining me as well, Ian. It's been great having you on here with me.
It is my pleasure. Now,
it's been a lot of fun here so far.
This is going to be really interesting. They have chosen not to change the boards. After the first set of 7, they'll have an option to change the boards again, should they choose. But for this next round that we're seeing right now, this next set of 7, these boards are going to remain. There's a little wear and tear on them, so I'm a little bit skeptical about that choice. Myself, I might have gone with some new wood. We're going to see how this affects their throws.
And we'll see how it plays out here. We expect them to probably go to a number of big axes here and see how much that takes a toll on these boards that are already chewed up from that last match.
Now, it could be a bit of a gamble based on the fact that they might be a little tired. They've been throwing a lot today. A little bit of loose wood is going to mean less hard throwing over the course of the first few games.
And you've seen Strawn Riley here as well. He's been throwing, this will be his 4th game in a row, whereas Erin Gerrard got a bit of a break there while he waited for that B final to finish off.
Right. And that is something that's in the structure of the tournament. You always want to give that opportunity to the underdog because it is double elimination. Give them a shot to come in a little bit warmed up and see if that person that's still in A can earn their top spot.
And we are exactly where we should be with the two finalists here, tied at 20, heading into the final acts of the first game. And a clutch being hit by Strawn Riley. And a clutch from Erin Gerrard, and we're going to Big Axe.
Absolutely.
Tied at 27.
Now, I do feel like the clutch game could be the deciding factor here. I think that both players are very strong. We're going to see who stays the course, the most consistent throwing. And you should watch to see if they're alternating between left and right or if they're staying true to one side. Notice that Strawn usually throws to the left clutch. That's his go-to. We're going to see how Erin answers. Strawn starting off.
It'll be curious to see how many clutches they go for with this Big Axe here. I feel that Erin Gerrard, just based on seeing some of his other matches, is more comfortable going for just the points and going for those bullseyes.
That will
Then
definitely
having to
change
throw for
the
clutch.
complexion of the game. I don't know if Strawn's going to be able to goad him into those clutch shots. Yeah,
You
right
see it
there, you can
he's
see
trying
it.
to talk him into it, but he's shaking it off. Just going for points here. And a bullseye to start. So Erin could go clutch here.
True, that could have been a psychological move, but I think, like you were saying, based on his game and his habits, I don't think that is. I think he's going to go straight clutch or straight bullseyes all the way through here.
But he misses high there with a 3, so Strawn takes game 1.
That Big Axe game is going to separate those future champions. You know, the consistency of your Big Axe. Doesn't matter how many bullseyes or how many clutches you can throw. If you can't finish it off with a strong Big Axe performance, you're always going to get let down. Now, saying that, we've seen Erin put some strong performances together earlier on today. So I don't think Big Axe is going to be his weakness. I'm interested to see what happens when he gets in a rhythm after having sat for so long.
And you see there the board getting a bit of a tap there from Erin Gerrard as it's starting to get beat up a bit, and we're early in this match.
Mm-hmm.
That board has to stay in until, as you said earlier, until that second match, if and when we get there.
That is
So
true.
as chewed as this board gets, it may have to survive a full 7 rounds of Big Axe even.
And it could force them to start calling clutch in Big Axe. If the Big Axe really does start taking a lot of that center out, they're going to have no choice but to go upstairs.
Yeah, if there's not much left to throw at, that changes the dynamics of the game for sure.
And you can
stay
see it
tied.
when the axe lands in the bullseye. If there's that little wiggle, you see that little side-to-side wiggle, you know you're starting to get loose wood, and that is
The gaps are a
hellacious
little
to try to
bigger.
stick.
The wood is falling out a little more. The Strawn, we're not sure there. We'll have a look. But Erin hits his. Strawn to have a look, and he says it's good. Erin says it's good. So another 27 round here in game 2, and we head to Big Axe. For anyone just joining us here, we are in the championship final of the National Axe-Throwing Federation Championship game. This one is for the Wilson Cup, the National Championship of Axe-Throwing. We are in game number 2 with Strawn Riley leading 1-0. My name is Tom Black. Beside me here is Ian Bobby.
It's a pleasure to be here to see these competitors. Man, they are throwing heat.
As we are in Big Axe.
Now,
and it looks like
based on the angle, this might be a 3. This is a risky one.
It looks like that bottom corner's in. Erin thinks 3, but Wes will come out to measure to be sure. You don't want to give up points by accident here on
Absolutely.
something that close. But it's sure enough, it's
As a
3.
helpful tip to any axe throwers paying attention, always device. It doesn't matter how 3 it looks. It might be a 5. Always device that axe.
I like to tell my groups when we're working events, when in doubt, device it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't give up those points. And another bullseye there.
And
from
Strawn's
Strawn.
consistency with distance, that's the thing. It's always 45 degrees down when big axes are hitting. That is the perfect, like we said before, the perfect angle. The point of the axe will break through any hardwood or not and lead the way for the rest of the blade to follow through.
And Strawn Riley with that big axe bullseye takes a 2-0 lead. He must win this match to force a second best 4 out of 7 here, as Aaron Gerrard is the A bracket champion. Strawn Riley is the B bracket champion.
Now, even if
Gerrard
Erin,
undefeated to this point, sorry, Ian.
I was going to say, that's a very good point, undefeated to this point. Even if he drops this best of 7, it's in his best interest to get it going to at least 7 games. His best interest to take Strawn, who's already probably pretty tired. He's been throwing consistently these long-running, full best of 7 or best of 5 games up until this point. There's got to be a level in which fatigue sets in. At least you should hope if you're a competitor.
I think so, yeah, for sure. But you never know. I mean, with the gentle touch that both of these players have, that fatigue is spread out a little bit. And
right.
They're able to last a little bit longer just because they're not throwing with quite the power that you see some other players throw with. So it gives them a little bit more longevity. As we both hit clutches here again. Aaron's is close, but it's in there, so we're going to big axe again. And Ian, we're at an 81.
We're going to have an 81. 27 or get out at this point.
Both
at this
players,
level.
81s.
Wow. You know, we were talking earlier about how hard that is, how difficult it is to hit an 81. These guys made it look easy.
And you'll see even higher scores today. In regular league play, it is just best 2 out of 3, so the highest score you could possibly get is that super perfect 81. Today, they can exceed that with 27 each round, just simply because they are playing 4 out of 7 now.
Absolutely.
But an 81 from each of them to start, nonetheless.
Now, I like what they're doing. They made an agreement before they started the match that they were just going to alternate who set point on Big Axe. I think that's a really smart move.
Bullseye there to start us off.
It really does point towards a sportsmanship that is encouraged in this in the sport of axe throwing. And I really do like that it was just an easy call for both of them to make.
Just that level of respect from each player and that trust level that you're not going to do anything maybe a bit shady or anything to take that advantage, right? As both players hit the bullseye. And we continue on to axe number 3 of Big Axe here in game 3.
Now I wonder if Strawn's going to pull a clutch out if Erin manages to make this bullseye. I think that it would make sense strategically to try to take him out of his comfort zone. Right now, both of them have thrown 3 bullseyes each. I mean, we'll see what happens.
It would be a risk for sure, although he has that comfort level because he's up 2 games here. He's got that little bit of wiggle room, but you don't want to allow Erin to get back in it here either. So he sticks to the bullseye.
But if we, and like we were saying, if Erin does drag this into a dogfight, if he really does get this into those later rounds, throwing a ton of big axe on already tired shoulders is going to wreak havoc on the upwards and downwards angles of your throw.
Sure. See, a little bit more rotation there, but he tucks it in.
It could be interesting, too. I don't recall which target Strawn's going back to throw on. Throwing a bunch of bullseyes knowing that Erin has to come and throw on this target might be an interesting strategy. If Aaron's got to throw on a shoot-up target, maybe he could be hoping for a drop.
And we see a 3 there from Strawn. So Erin with a bullseye here would bring it back to 2-1. And it looks like he's got it. Strawn says yes, so the match is now 2-1 as we head into game number 4.
So I don't think there was strategy there. Strawn looked a little confused as to which target he was going back to, so I don't think that was on the forefront of his mind. But it's something to think about. The quality of your wood is going to start to get affected at this point. We're 3 games in of a best of 7. This is the one where your wood falling apart is what's going to send you down to the bench.
As we start off with double bulls here, and Strawn has to pull a piece off of his, and Erin going to tap his back in again. But a situation here where you've got 2 lighter throwers. They liked having that little bit of chew on the board, that little bit of give in there, that little bit of cushion to help it sink in. But now it might cost them because there's less wood there now.
Right. It's where putting a little more heat on your throw might be necessary. You want it to bite through the chewed wood a bit into the backboard so that it stays.
But in doing that, oftentimes you'll find that you end up with a bit of over-rotation.
Yeah.
Or you lose that little bit of accuracy by trying to put that little bit of extra power
If you
on
put
it.
too much wrist into it, it's going to over-rotate as opposed to just putting velocity on your throw.
But neither player being affected so far as we head to the final axe tied at 20 yet again. I would expect another 27 here, and we'll be going back to big axe. But that's why we throw the axes. We'll wait and see. Strawn is good. And Erin is just outside, and Strawn Riley takes a 3-1 lead.
We said it before, the clutch game is what's going to separate our competitors.
And there it is in this final. Strawn Riley with 4 27s in a row. Finding himself up 3-1. Axe number 3 here, tied at 10. Strawn Riley on your right. Aaron Gerrard, you saw his axe sink there. He's on your left.
It's almost automatic at this point with these competitors. Bullseye after bullseye until clutch comes into play.
And then the finesse game comes in, and you need to be able to place it.
Obviously,
And
they're
here
going
we go
upstairs.
again. Erin trying to redeem himself after that last one. Strawn. That one's tight. No, Erin says. And Strawn Riley has forced a second match here.
Now, like we were saying, this is the point where they can change the wood. They can change those boards if they choose, and it looks like they're calling for it. Or they're talking about it.
Erin's hesitant. Strawn's saying yes, but they're going to have a look.
If I were Erin, they both have quite light throws, but if I were Erin, I would definitely ask for this. Because I think Erin's got a little more power in his toss at this point than Strawn does. It makes a lot of sense for him to ask for 2 fresh boards. And even if one target was a little chewed and the other one was fairly far gone, we would change both. And we do that for parity to make sure that both targets are as equitable as possible for our throwers.
You are watching live coverage of the 7th Annual National Axe-Throwing Championship presented by Beau's Natural Brewing here at Battle Villiers here in Toronto. Part of the National Axe-Throwing Federation's championship weekend here. And we thank our other sponsors as well. Battle, the Backyard Axe-Throwing League, for hosting here today. Sailor Jerry's, RBC Foundation, Cherry Street Barbecue, Gardenier Roberts, MNP, Firepower Capital, the Doc Ellis, Fresh Ink Screen Printing, and of course Woodhouse Brewing.
Also a big thank you to all our NATF organizations. This really is such an impressive turnout. Every time that camera pans to the crowd, you can see them going nuts for this championship. Every single one of you, welcome to Toronto. We're so excited to have you, to show you our amazing city, and to show you this amazing sport that originated right here.
And it's great having them out because you just see the level of competition that has come from every single one of those venues. And
absolutely,
it's just brought this whole tournament to a new level.
Right, and it is just wonderful to see the sense of community that comes from all these different organizations. Sure. It's not so much about us competing as it is about making a competition great.
And without our sponsors and without our fellow axe throwers from all these other organizations, we wouldn't be able to support the Red Door Foundation, or Red Door Family as we do
the classic chants,
the classic battle group photo.
Now, that actually comes from the backyard. It comes from the backyard days where Matt would ask us to take pictures when this was just an infant sport. And obviously nobody wants their picture taken. Our response would obviously be that, and it has grown and turned into a tradition where that is what we tend to shout when we're asked to take a big group photo. And the fact that it's lasted as a tradition for 11 years is pretty amazing.
It's all in fun. It's all a good bit of fun among friends. Like, it's no harm, no foul. It's just a good bit of fun amongst friends. As you see the trophy being presented here.
Trophy presentation.
By the legend, Stefan Herda, who got ousted today. So we will have a new champion. It will either be Erin Gerrard.
It's pretty spectacular. Stefan got ousted in 13th. In the 13th place, which is really unfathomable coming into today's competition, that he would be that far down the roster. Not because, he did poorly today. In fact, threw amazingly well, but the level of competition is just grown by leaps and bounds to the point where perfect games mean nothing. You need to follow those with 27 after 27, as we are seeing in these championship rounds.
And you saw the hug there between Strawn and Stefan there. That was maybe something coming into this tournament just based on Stefan's legend, I guess we'll say, that precedes him, and then Strawn's ability to throw 81s and 27s. You thought that maybe would have been the final today.
Yeah, possibly, but maybe that hug that we just witnessed is a little bit of a passing of the torch.
Could be.
We're going to see what happens.
Will the trophy be heading to Battle London this year or to Battle Pickering? We're about to find out as Strawn Riley has forced us into a second best 4 out of 7. It's anyone's game now. Both players have one loss under their belt now. Whoever wins this raises that trophy high above their heads.
For the record, I will say that Strawn started at Battle Yorkdale, so I think we're going to claim him as our own for a little bit, as much as he throws at Battle Pickering now. That's up for debate. I welcome that debate, but I'm going to stick to my guns.
Might have to share it.
Yeah.
As we start off with double bulls. A close one there from Erin. Strawn says it's good.
He's given the good. Now remember, paint counts towards your total score. So the edge of the paint is all part of your axe blade.
And you saw it there, too, that the bottom of Erin's axe was out of the wood, so that wouldn't have been counted either. Just the parts of the axe that have actually stuck in, and then, as you say, from the line in and from the line out.
Right. And at this level of competition, you tend to be able to eyeball what's a bullseye and what's not. If you've got a good rhythm, it's pointless to interrupt it by getting somebody to device that axe and see what it might be. Might as well just keep throwing. Clutches are called.
Strawn looks like he's just outside. He says no. And Erin might have just tucked it in for the first round. And Erin Gerrard takes the 1-0 lead here in match number 2. Game number 1 goes to Erin Gerrard in this best 4 out of 7. And we stay even here. Axe number 2, tied at 5. Tied at 10 now.
I really do like looking at their foot placement when it comes down to this throw. Erin G really has a strong step that comes very close to the edge of that fault line. Whereas Strawn has a falling forward motion. Oh, that I mean, eyeballing that from my side, I think that's a 3.
The crowd chanting for Wes and his device.
Coaches.
And he calls it the 3, which is what Erin thought it probably was, and sure enough is confirmed by Wes. So with the mistake there, and we call it a mistake, it was a 3. It wasn't even that bad, but in this game, when it's this tight, you can't make those mistakes.
Absolutely.
And Strawn makes him pay by hitting that bullseye. It's only axe number 4, though. There's still time.
I can't see Strawn not going for clutch.
No, with his track record and his ability to hit that 27, we fully expect it here, and there it is. That's the call. 27 to tie the match at 1. And he splits it in half, just like he's done all day long, all season long. Strawn stepping up with another 27. And we're tied at 1 here as we head to game number 3.
Erin is really throwing some of those dangerously close to over-rotating tosses. You think that hard step to the paint where he really is halting his forward motion might be part of the cause of that? I mean, he's definitely throwing well. He's definitely throwing accurately. But even an inch off could cause those axes to over-rotate.
Well, when we had Big Will Gordon on here earlier, he was mentioning that Erin has made some adjustments to his axe lately. He's shortened the handle down to the minimum size.
Right.
Which has changed the balancing, so he's needed to adjust his stance and adjust his throw slightly to prevent that over-rotation, which is what you're seeing here.
Coming into axe number 4. Evens at 20. They're obviously going for clutches.
We'll see if we can get them this time. Strawn does. And Erin says he doesn't know. Westit coming in to make the call. And he says it's good. We're going to Big Axe, tied at 27 here. One game each here in match number 2. It's best 4
Now, we
out
haven't
of 7.
seen some of this yet. This really is the gamesmanship in effect.
Yeah, you've seen it from a lot of players. They're happy to just allow one of you to make the decision, whereas avoiding this little fun game of rock, paper, scissors that is normally used to decide it.
Of course. Now, it can be an interesting time sink in order to give yourself a breather. I don't think Strawn's using it for that, but I have seen players in the past use that rock, paper, scissors, try to give themselves a couple seconds of respite before they go back to throwing.
So get a couple extra breaths of fresh air and reset their mind to get ready for that Big Axe for sure. Strawn steps up and hits. Erin to send us into points if he can put it within the paint here. And he does with a bullseye. There's that nice rotation, getting that point in that we mentioned earlier. Time for points. Strawn to set the table. And he sets it with a 3, which leaves the door open for Aaron Gerrard to hit a bullseye and take a 2-1 lead. And he nails it. Aaron Gerrard of Battle London takes a 2-1 lead here in match number 2.
I'm calling it right now. I think these guys are going to trade games back and forth right until number 7. I think this is going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, I don't see this one not going to that 14th game. I think you're right on that for sure. But we'll see how things play out here. Double ball. Once again, anyone wanting to take a look at all the stats and all the action of who played and who won and lost today, you can take a look at the full bracket available at axescores.com. That's axescores.com for all the national championship stats and standings here today. We had 128 competitors at the beginning. We are down to 2.
128 competitors split into 2 venues all the way across different sides of the city, starting as early as 9 a.m. this morning.
That's right. We did start out at Battle Yorkdale for the first few rounds out at Battle Yorkdale while we were playing simultaneously here at Battle Villiers, with the 2 sides meeting come semifinal time. Clutches both hit. Strawn will have a look at Erin's just to be sure.
Well, wardrobe malfunction here.
And he's
all right,
caught on the
we're all
fence,
good.
but he's free. And we're going to Big Axe. 27s yet again from these 2.
All right. Looks
Erin
like the
will
rock,
go
paper,
first.
scissors was just to determine who is the first to set points. Now remember, that
And there you
first
go.
toss is always just to break paint. You just have to qualify for the points round of Big Axe with 1 good throw.
That's right, too, because that first round didn't actually end up going to Big Axe because of the missed
Correct.
clutch from Strawn. So this is only our second round of Big Axe here. But Erin will set the table here. See what he gets. And it's a 3. So now it's Strawn's turn. A bullseye
This
would
is just
tie the match.
mirror from the last round. Wow.
And just like Aaron Gerrard, Strawn steps up and hits that bullseye this time to take the round and tying the match at 2-all. And you've called it so far, Mr. Bobby. We're going shot for shot.
I just have a gut feeling. I
Round
think that
for round.
seeing these competitors, the way they've got some real focus on their throws, the nuances are there. They're paying attention to all the little details of their form. I think these guys are just, it's going to be hard to get them to miss.
So far, they stay perfect here. Since round one, I don't think we've seen a missed shot yet.
No.
Since that first round, we've hit 327 since. And it was just that missed clutch from Erin that gave Strawn the early lead. From Strawn that gave
the only threes we're seeing are in Big Axe, and that is perfectly understandable. This is also coming from us being spoiled watching so many Big Axe clutches earlier in that round that Strawn was playing, both rounds actually, that Strawn was playing with Sully.
That's true. As we head to the final axe here of Game 5, match number 2, tied at 20. Strawn hits.
Wow.
And like clockwork, Aaron Gerrard matches, and we're going back to Big Axe.
This would be Strawn setting points, I believe.
He'll step up
if
first.
their gentleman's agreement from the beginning stands.
As Aaron waits on the side, gives his axe a bit of a sandpaper finish there.
I can see that from Aaron's axe. He's definitely put some care into the handle. There is a small part of that handle that you can see has been cut off, and the sanding, it makes it a little bit smooth, a little bit slick without having to use any type of hand chalk. So it's very interesting for some competitors to use that as a technique. Interesting until you sand that handle down too thin and it changes your grip.
Right. And I was speaking to Aaron there after one of his earlier matches. He was saying that the nerves are starting to get to him a little bit, so his hands were a bit sweaty, so he was having to do a little bit of extra work on his axe handles just to make sure he could keep that grip. So that's what we're seeing there.
Bullseye for bullseye. And as opposed to Strawn's game with Sully, where the clutches and Big Axe were such an important part of it, there have not been any clutch calls I can recall in this game.
Not in this one, and I think that just is the different type of thrower that we have in this one. Is Aaron's more comfortable just throwing for those bullseyes. If he hits his and you call clutch and go and get it, then he's happy to concede that round to you because you've done what you needed to do. Whereas Sully is more of a pace pusher. He wants you to wants to force that situation, force you into that clutch.
And I guess it's a part of the gamesmanship where Strawn is more than happy to play your game with you. He's confident in his skill. He's confident in how he throws.
Ooh, a little bit low there.
There's a 3.
And that'll be a 3 for sure as he takes it out. He's moved it now, so even if he was questioning, it's going to be a 3.
It might be worth Strawn pushing those clutches next time.
At this point, with the consistency of bullseyes that we're seeing from Erin, you're right. I think it might be a situation where Strawn needs to push that pace a little bit and go for those clutches.
On the other hand, having not thrown clutches in Big Axe for so long, since his rounds with Sully, it's a risky proposition. If he opens up with a clutch on Big Axe, he looks like a genius. If he misses, it's game over.
That's a very good point as well. As we head to game number 6 here, Aaron Gerrard, if he can take this round, he will have his first National Axe-Throwing Championship title. Strawn Riley looking to force game 7. He's throwing on your left. Aaron Gerrard is on your right. We're tied at 15 now as we head to axe number 4. And double bulls again. And they're going clutches.
Wow. Here we go.
Strawn just still so calm despite being down 3-2, able to step up and split that clutch in half. And Aaron Gerrard matches. And we go to Big Axe with Aaron Gerrard setting the stage here. He will throw first, looking to put the pressure on Strawn Riley as he is up 3-2. And with a win here, as we said, he would hoist the Wilson Cup. Just throwing for paint right now.
Interesting that he went a little wide right. A little lack of concentration on that throw. Not a big problem because we're just trying to break paint, but
there was a bit of a rattle there, though, so it was a little dangerous.
You can't, for 1 second in this type of competition at this level, lose your concentration.
And you can hear the crowd now. We are on to the points. Highest point value takes this round. Aaron Gerrard starts us off with a bullseye. Now, does Strawn go clutch? He's going clutch.
Going
win
clutch.
Or go home. He takes this, or Aaron Gerrard will be our champion here today.
I respect this move. I understand this move. Let's see if he pulls it off.
He's got confidence in his Big X clutch game. He's hit a number of them today. Here we go. And he nails it! Strawn Riley pumps his chest, lets out a cry. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going
He is not a man. He's a monster. That
to
was
Game 7.
huge.
What a throw.
We knew why he was doing it too. Just the consistency of Aaron's bullseyes, the consistency of his bullseyes with Big Axe. You got to throw a monkey wrench in this game. Aaron is not going to forget that clutch. He is really going to be worried about that. It's going to play in the back of his mind when it comes to those final throws this round.
And it all comes down to this, though, Ian. It comes down to these final 5 throws.
Game for game, Game 7.
Game 14 overall.
Right, game 14 if you want to get technical, Tom.
We thought we'd get here, and we did. We made it.
You can hear it in the crowd. They are astounded. That was such a ballsy call, but I think definitely, as risky as it was, definitely the right call.
And the confidence to pull it off is just, this is why they're here. This is why they're in this spot. Oh, Aaron. Oh, that'll be tight, but from here it looks pretty good. And they say yes.
Strawn's not trying to break his rhythm. He's happy with what he's got and not breaking that psychological momentum. Don't give your opponent a win. And if you do, make that win something you gave them.
There is that side of it, too, that you said, the rhythm there. You know what? That's close enough. It's probably going to be good. No need to waste time with the device. Let's just do what we all know what's going to happen anyway. Going for clutch.
Down to clutch.
And it's split by Strawn. Aaron Gerrard. Split in half. We're going to Big Axe again.
This is incredible.
Here we go. Game 7, match number 2. Of the Bose All-Natural National Axe-Throwing Championship. Brought to us by Bose. Strawn Riley to throw first here in Big Axe. And a 3 from Strawn, but it's just paint right now. Erin with a quick file of sandpaper there. And here we go. And he nails it. And we go to points. Strawn to throw first. Oh, he's trying to talk Aaron into clutch.
No.
He's trying to talk Aaron into clutch. And they're just going for points. A little bit of gamesmanship there, as we've discussed before. A little bit of gamesmanship there again from Aaron. Just letting Strawn know that he hasn't actually made a decision. He may go clutch.
Strawn is going clutch.
Strawn has changed his mind. Strawn is going clutch.
That was a big move. A big move from Aaron.
An interesting play there by Aaron to discuss it with him. Here we go. And he nailed it! Strawn Riley with a clutch!
And just like that, you know, Aaron played Erin played that psychological card. He tried to get in Strawn's head and say, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. If you go clutch and miss, I'm not going to match it. I might just go for a point. And it backfired in a big way.
That was huge, absolutely huge. And you're right, he tried to play the games, but the confidence of Strawn Riley, you see it just oozing through that clutch. And here we go.
Strawn Riley is our champion.
Your 2018 National Axe-Throwing Championship.
That is huge.
What a play there as the crowd swarms him.
Wow.
Strawn Riley from Battle
They are swarming
Pickering.
Strawn right now.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful, beautiful performance. Just to the bitter end of great calls, and not just gutsy calls, but the right ones. Perfect calls for not just the best technical game, but the best psychological game from start to finish.
And the confidence to call clutch in that big axe 2 in a row. As he raises the trophy, the crowd raises Strawn.
It is loud in here right now.
And we have ourselves a new champion as Stefan Herta gives him the trophy.
That is
Strawn
incredible.
Riley.
The performance was masterful. I loved all the calls that he made. And even, let's give a big hand to Erin. Erin really did make the right call. I thought that was an incredible, let's just even say an inspired choice to try to get in Strawn's head for that last shot.
And if not for the skill level of Strawn Riley, if he misses that clutch and Erin steps up and gets a 1 even.
Oh,
we're talking
even.
completely different.
Oh, of course. But there we go. Well, I obviously want to thank all our sponsors for this. This has been such a day so far. A real marathon of amazing throwers. Huge thank you to Bo's All Natural Brewery, our title sponsor for this event today. With all the folks from there, they have been incredible. And of course, this wouldn't be possible without the pioneering efforts from the NATF, the National Axe-Throwing Federation, all around the world setting standards for our organizations and for our competitions. And of course, all our sponsors, Battle, the Backyard Axe-Throwing League, Sailor Jerry, RBC, the Cherry Street Barbecue, Gardner Roberts, NMNP, Firepower, Fresh Ink, the Doc Ellis, and Woodhouse Brewing. You guys made this amazing day possible.
It's just been incredible with all of our NATF members that you see on screen now, as the crowd is still going nuts here. As we congratulate Aaron Gerrard on his second place finish and Strawn Riley on his championship performance here today. And there it is, the hands are up.
I got to give it up. I'm clapping. Everyone's clapping. I'm part of it. I'm clapping.
He got
too.
it at this point
This
as he
is
raises that trophy.
Just great. No better feeling than this. Watching the changing of a guard, this new elevated type of game coming to axe throwing.
And this is a result that we thought we might have seen coming into today.
And here we go.
And we got it.
A big
as they
drink.
fill that cup with some Woodhouse
Let's
today.
go.
And down the hatch it goes in one big gulp.
Beautiful.
Strawn Riley,
The cup.
the 2018 National Axe-Throwing Champion. What a performance.
Oh, right? It's hard to look back on it. I think every moment of that was just gripping.
And just all day, all the matches being
Yeah.
played today, there's just the level of competition, as we've said time and time again, has just gone.
And like you pointed out before, the changing of the guard, having Stefan Herta there with Strawn Riley. I think at that moment, maybe it's time to thank you, Tom. You were incredible doing our color commentary today.
Well, thank you, Ian, for joining us here today.
It's
It's
always
great
my
having
pleasure.
you.
Let's do this
And to
again
Big
next
Will.
year, my man.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
big thanks to Big Will. And, of course, Matt Wilson, the Wilson Cup
The
originator. The Wilson, for having the insight to get a bunch of drunk friends together in a backyard over at College in Manning 11 years ago.
Thank
And,
goodness it was raining that weekend.
Yeah,
eh,
thank
when they
goodness
were
it
up
was
at the
raining when
cottage.
we tried to go camping. Fantastic, guys.
Thanks for
It's
joining
been
us
great.
here today.
Thank you from myself and from Tom. There's still plenty of axe throwing ahead. Come down to 33 Villiers today, Sunday the 18th of February. There, like I said, is beer flowing from Bo's and from Woodhouse Brewery, and Cherry Street Barbecue is providing some food. Come see some awesome axe throwers.
Thank you, Ian, for those those nice words. It's been a great day here so far today. As Ian steps away here, we are going to stay with you for a little bit longer as we present the championship check to Strawn Riley here, as the crowd is still going crazy. Like, what a day here. Is the mind blown as Big Will is stepping back in here to join us. What do you think, Big Will?
I'm telling you right now, I was telling somebody, I even got a bit emotional over it because I love both these guys. They're both really good friends of mine. Of course, I had to favor Erin coming in as the number one seed into the final, not necessarily coming out of B bracket. But I love Strawn, man. I'm telling you, I got a little worked up. I told Libby, good thing I got a hat on because after watching that match, I think I'm going to be bleeding out of my ears a little bit.
You might need to take that thing off. It might be causing you to sweat a bit much here, Will. But
unreal.
As you said, what a match. What a day today. Just unbelievable throwing here
I
today.
went up to Strawn. I got a minute with him. And again, we've been friends for a little while now, a couple years. And I said, man, I've never seen somebody put so much on the line, like every throw to go and actually take this win.
Well, and you saw the scores brought up there, and it's just 27s across the board in this final here.
You look at Erin.
Big axe time after time. Just huge.
I went up and talked to Erin a little bit. You look at that. We got like basically 281s thrown in these matches here. I go up to Erin. I spent a minute with him. Said, hey, man. He's like, I lost on Big Axe Clutch twice. I got to practice Big Axe Clutch next.
Yep. That's where we're at now. Everybody's just getting to that next level. Woo. Even from last year to this year. This year it was, now we need to work on our clutch game just with the standard hatchet.
Can you imagine
now
like
it's
in 1 year,
the big axe,
a year ago, just going clutch on the fifth axe was unheard of.
Oh, exactly.
It was just going for bowls, going to big axe. Now clutch on every fifth throw, and then pushing it.
As Nick LaFace joins us here. Come on in here, Nick. Come on in here. What do you think of everything here today?
That was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing.
Yeah. Just incredible. We've been talking back and forth here just to see that level of competition that was here all day today.
It's a different game.
To end like that, right?
Yeah, it's a different game. This is.
Are we gonna see you out there next year?
I hope so.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, it's going big axe clutch now. After you go to points, I mean, is that where the sport's going? And I mean, where do you go next?
That's right. We're just going to cut away here for a second. Good question there, Big Will, as we get ready here to present the champion's check. We'll turn it over to Matt Wilson.
More I hear from Bose to present the checks for the top two winners. First off, Erin G finishing in second place, $1,500.
Check for the second place competitor, Erin Gerard. The excitement there.
Work together. That was boss too.
And I'll let you do that. And then to the champion, Strawn, come on over here, buddy. Come on over here. I'll get out of the way. I'm out. There we go. To our champion, Strawn Riley, the winner of the night, NATC 2018 champion, $4,000. Nice work. Nice work, buddy. Awesome work. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning online. We'll see you next year.